continue that trend. But it's Tony Mowbray's Hibs who hold the upper hand in the SPL at the moment. Their sparkling style of football has won them lots of admirers. They're 9 points ahead of Hearts, who have a game in hand. And there could be a dozen points between them by close of play at Easter Roads. Hearts won't see it that way. They'll want to close the gap, but to do that, they'll have to play a whole lot better than they did last Sunday, live on Setanta Sports, when they were completely outplayed at Tynecastle by Celtic. It's Derby Day in Edinburgh, and we're hoping for a capital classic. There's another SPL match, of course, on the second day of 2005, and it's the one which could see Celtic trade places again with Rangers and retake pole position. Former Rangers captain Richard Gough is time as Livingston manager. You'll see the goals as they go in, plus a longer look at the action later on. Compliments of the season from the Hibs chairman, Rod Petrie, to the supporters as they arrive for the game, and there will be some compliments heading back his way as well, I would imagine. He's the man who hired Tony Mowbray, and what an impact that appointment has made at Easter Roads. So a full house there for the second Edinburgh derby of the season, and 60,000 at Celtic Park as the defending champions look to get their noses back in front in the title race. That's what we've got for you today, plus all the SPL action since Christmas. Full of New Year cheer are Craig Burley and Dundee United's Billy Dodds. And I guess things are a lot happier at Tannadice. Maybe you're thinking you should have won yesterday, but a much improved performance.
I don't think we're getting carried away too far yet, Rob. It was much better, but I think the Old Firm games look after themselves. We were right up for it. We knew we needed a win. We came so close, but just failed. We played well, but we tended to sit back as the game went on. So, looking at it, I think we'll be happy with a draw going into it. But we'd have been better off. We were so close to taking the 3 points.
But you're off the bottom.
That's a big bonus. Gives you an incentive for your next few games. I think we've got Gretna in the Cup. We all know how well that could be so difficult. And then we've got hard games coming up again. I think it's Hearts, and I'm not sure who their team is, but we play a couple of hard games in the league, and getting off it gives you a big incentive to maybe go on and get another win and get yourself further up the league. Because I'm not saying we're in a false position, but we've underperformed this year, and we should be further up because we've got good players.
Goal difference separates the bottom three. Goal difference also, Craig, separates the top two. It couldn't be much closer.
No, it couldn't. I mean, it was disappointing for Rangers yesterday. The performance wasn't particularly good at Dundee United, but Dundee United did play well, you know, especially in the first half. But inevitably, when you're bottom of the league, you do sit in and try and, you know, hold on to a lead, and they got caught with a sucker punch at the end. Tony Bullock was exceptional in goal yesterday. Played very, very well. Made one mistake at the end, coming for a cross from the corner, and didn't quite get his fist on it. Tried to punch it. Namucci heads it in, but a point was better than nothing, obviously, for Rangers. But for Dundee United to get off the bottom of the league was a huge bonus for them. But it's, you know, the way they performed, you've got to ask the question why they are down there.
Let's look at all the games we've had then since Christmas. We'll start on Boxing Day at Tynecastle, Hearts against Celtic. And Craig, there was much expectation about what John Robertson's team would do here, but it really didn't happen for them.
Yeah, I mean, we built this game up, so I'm not going to build today's one up too much, because it was a wee bit of a disappointment. I mean, Not
for Celtic.
No, not in terms of who won the game, in terms of the actual game as a spectacle, because Celtic were by far dominant. I mean, Petrov, who crossed that ball in there, was exceptional. It was a good finish from McGeady at the back post, I have to say. But Celtic really took the game to Hearts, and I have to say, from John Robertson's point of view, I think he's got to be a wee bit disappointed. I mean, that's a great goal from Petrov here. I mean, he looked back to his best, I have to say, or somewhere close to that, and so did Celtic, to be fair. But I think John will be a wee bit disappointed with the way his team performed, and he'll be looking for a much more inspired performance from his Hearts team today, because they didn't have any penetration at all. This was their one sort of claim for a penalty. I think De Vries goes down far too easy. He was too involved with the referee, too much mouthing last week, didn't really concentrate enough in the game, didn't get much service, and I just thought Hearts, for me, I was expecting more from them last week against Celtic, especially being at home. So I'm looking to see how they're going to improve on last week's performance in the big game today.
Well, that left Rangers last Monday with the job they've become familiar with in recent times, and that's catch-up. But they did it very effectively. And the game was won, really, Billy, in the first 15 minutes when Nacho Novo scored twice. Yeah,
it was. He's been inspirational for them. Me and Craig were talking about him earlier on in the season where he was missing chances. But we always said he's getting himself into scoring positions. And with the amount of the goals he's scored now, I mean, he's such an important player for the team.
This one's number 17 of the season.
It's incredible because he had in his terms, a poor start, but everything in front of him now, he's so confident. It's a striker's thing. Once you hit the back of the net, you feel as if you'll never miss. And he's went on, and I think yesterday they missed him against us. I think there was a lot of talk about it. Although Stephen Thomas came in and did a good job, but Novo is he gives you that bit extra. I mean, they've got the big target man in Purcell or Thompson, and he can get off them. It's a great balance, but maybe Purcell and Thompson together just doesn't work sometimes. But I must admit, they've really taken off with his goals, and that's a great goal.
Yeah, Scott McDonald back in the team, back in among the goals again. But I think that was pretty much against their run of play, because Motherwell were getting a bit of a doing from Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, we built McDonald up at the start of the season. He was playing particularly well, but Rangers seem okay at home, Rob. They really do. I mean, they seem to be turning teams over at home, but away from home seems to be where they're struggling. Obviously, it's a good goal there from Avaladze, but you know, at Kilmarnock they struggled. They got a 1-0 win. Struggled at Dundee United yesterday. Didn't perform very well, but at home they look comfortable. But on their travels they don't look convincing. And I have to say this is a good win, because Motherwell are a decent side. But you know, it's all very well getting results at home, but when you go away from home, if you want to win the championship, and you've got to start putting some results together and grind out some results. Good goal from Stevie Thompson, but they don't seem to be looking. They don't look like they can do that at the moment. As I say, yesterday's performance against Dundee United and the performance at Kilmarnock a couple of weeks ago was not looking like a team who are going to go all the way and win the championship. I have to say that. 2004
has ended with Inverness Cally Thistle looking like a decent bet for survival in the SPL. John Robertson started their recovery when he was still there, and the baton has been picked up by Craig Brewster, and they're going through, Billy, a very good run of form. This was their goalless draw at Pittodrie.
Yep, they're hard to beat. We found it hard up there as well. Obviously, you've got a hard act to follow in John Robertson, and sometimes it's a hiding to nothing. But Craig's went in there, brought in his own ideas, and he's definitely changed it round. I think they're a better team now than they were under wee Robbo.
He'll thank you for saying that.
Yes. No, but Rob is obviously an excellent manager. He's went on to Hearts, but you're looking at Craig. It's a hard job to come into after he's such a high standard. Robbo's set, so Craig's come in there, and you see they're creating chances. The boy Bain up front's looking as if he could score in most games now. He's looking dangerous.
I mean, should we be disappointed that Aberdeen didn't get a result in that game, or should we be saying, you know, how much of improvement has been in Inverness Cally of recent weeks?
Well, I was going to ask you about that, because that's 3 games now for Aberdeen without a win, which is their worst run of the season, which tells you a lot about the way they've been playing.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a wee bit disappointing recently, I have to say. Aberdeen, you know, have much expectation for them, and they'll come back, I'm sure. But Cally have come on, you know, they really have. John Robertson did a great job there. Craig Brewster's taken it on. Thought we dodgy, might have fancied it himself going up there, playing manager. But the boys they're not just sitting in now. They're actually coming out and taking teams on. They're playing some decent stuff. Play with one up front. But Aberdeen looking to bring players in the transfer window. Talking Stevie Crawford going there probably doesn't look as if Jimmy's going to offer him a long enough contract. But they just need something to spark the season again and build on the job that Jimmy did in the first 6 months.
Let's take Billy back to last Monday. I'm sure he doesn't really want to go there, because Dundee United took a heavy beating from Hibs. This must have been a nightmare to watch and to be involved in as well.
Robbie started so well in this game, and you see a great finish by Jason Scotland in his first goal of the season. First 10-15 minutes I thought we could have maybe 2 or 3 goals, but you've got to give Hibs credit. They never change their style. They go and pass the ball. They don't just lump it when they go a goal down, and when they got their equaliser, they just get stronger and stronger. They passed the ball, kept on the deck, and ended up scoring 4 against us. And we lost our shape a wee bit, and we could have ended up maybe losing 6 or 7. The front two again, they're linking up. It was a great pass, and I think Riordan it laid off to a corner and a great finish.
And this was Hibs without Bizalan, who's been such a big player for them in central midfield this season.
Great balance all over the pitch, but Bizalan, and then they let I think this boy Shields get forward as well, and down the left. They've got Glass playing in the left, and then obviously Ormond getting forward in the right as well. They've got so much coming in the box through wide areas as well, and as I say, they never change their style, and they always believe in the football they play.
This was Kilmarnock, a much needed win for them last Monday, because they'd gone 7 games without one, but they got 3 goals against a Dundee side, Craig, who are really toiling at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you really feel for Jim Duffy at Dundee. I mean, I think he's got big problems here. He has to start getting results. But Kilmarnock were a team who promised much at the start of the season after a disappointing season last season, disappointing end to the season. They started well. Rob, the start of this season, they look good, they look confident, but they've went in a run of results which have been really, really poor for them. Not been performing, and they've been losing games, have dropped down the table. This was a must-win game for them, I think, because Dundee are struggling. I think Jim Jeffries would have been expecting his team to win this game, but he'd been looking for a much improved performance from them, and it looks as if he certainly got that.
This was the goal for Dundee, which they hoped would spark a recovery. John Sutton scored for them, but Kilmarnock came again and got the goal from Chris Boyd. And I wonder how significant this one might prove to be, because he scored so heavily early on, 5 in one game, of course, and this is him off and running again.
Thanks for reminding me of that, Rob. It was against us.
Sorry about that.
No, it's good for Big Boyd. He's a decent target man. He'll get his goals, and as I say, everybody expected him to go on to better things, but he's still a young lad and he's still learning. But I must admit, Duff's got a hard job up there. They've got no finances. Craig will know all about that. And I mean, look at them, they're starting to struggle now. He did well with what he had once the big players, the so-called big players, went. He did well for a while, but now I feel it's starting to catch up on them now. This was Dunfermline against Livingston from last Monday. No goals in the game. And I guess not too surprising, because two teams, Craig, who desperately didn't want to lose.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's a good result for Livingston. You have to say a better result for them than it is for Dunfermline. But, you know, Richard Goff's got a tough task going to Celtic Park today. But good point for them. You know, again, I think the bottom of the league is going to be so tight at the end of the season, Rob. And I think probably both these teams might be down there. Dunfermline look more likely to scrape out of it than Livingston, I have to say. But Livingston, Dundee, teams like that, you know, down there. Inverness, Cali look as if they're going to be okay, but I mean, they could get sucked back down in. So I mean, it's going to be an interesting one. As much as there's going to be a championship challenge, we hope, at the top of the table, there's going to be a very, very tight relegation battle at the bottom, and I think it's going to go all the way.
Two games played yesterday, and this was the Tannadice action. 1-1 it finished between Dundee United and Rangers, and a great start and a merited opening goal for your team, Billy, because you started so well. Again, we started a bit like the Hibs game. We started really well, first 10-15 minutes, and I'm thinking, right, just hold on for the next 20-25, get through it. We actually played some good football. That would have killed off the game. I'm warming up there as per usual, and it's a Stonewall penalty. I'm 10 yards for it. He put his two arms up and Vernier caught it in the line. But we sat back so much in the second half, and they were invited pressure onto us, and inevitably we lose the goal. Everybody said Stefan scored it, but I knew he'd missed the header, and actually they said the header, and Namucci backed it in, and it flew off his back.
Yeah,
right in the middle.
He knew nothing about it.
That's kind of luck you get.
You know, Tony Bullock, I thought, as I said before, I thought he was inspirational yesterday. We've seen the young boy Jarvie come in, and he's had a tough time, it has to be said, and he was desperate for a bit of experience back in there, and Bullock was tremendous yesterday. He made one mistake. But when you're a goalkeeper and you make one mistake, it usually ends up in the back of the net, and it did. But I suppose if you look at it in the bigger picture, it was a good point for Dundee United, considering the way they've been playing recently.
When your team sits in like that, Billy, do you have a choice in the matter? Because obviously at that stage, Rangers are powering onto you, looking desperately to get something out of the game. Did you have any choice but to retreat?
That's a hard one, Rob. I was saying, like, even if you get out, I feel as if when we were clearing it, under like panic stations and just booting anywhere. Needed maybe a wee bit of composure, or if we did clear it, get the centre half, maybe even up 2-3 yards, because that allows your midfield to go up, and then you maybe start winning battles in the midfield then. But what we were doing was panic clearing it, and they were just inviting them right back on top of us. So as I say, they looked like scoring, but we could have killed off with the penalty, as I say, but they did look like scoring, and they probably got a deserved point, although it was so hard for us to take because we were desperate for the 3.
Maybe a wee bit pace up front for the last 10-15 minutes. No, and did you come in?
No, I don't come into the pace category. No.
But you had Jason Scotland and Samuel on the bench, I think, as well. Yeah. So I think he was correct not to change it in midfield, and the back boys did very well. But maybe a wee bit pace up front for the last 10-15 minutes, just to turn Rangers, who were trying to get back in the game, might just to help them.
But you need that to spark something for you, don't you? It's no point in people saying, well, that was a great performance from Dundee United yesterday. You need results against the teams round about.
Rob, I think these games look after themselves. The old firm, you can't go up for those games. You shouldn't be in the game at all. It's the other games now. We had a shape, we got a good start, we were a goal up, we hung on, and think, as Craig said, we maybe could have changed it, but then you've got to look at it from your manager's point of view, that things were going quite well. We lose a late goal. It's the problem. We go and play teams where we have to come out with shape and go and take the game on to them and hopefully go and get points now. And sometimes you struggle at that.
Yeah, well, I don't mean change the shape, I just mean bring a striker for a striker and add a wee bit of pace. But it's a sorry sight when players only raise themselves for a Rangers and Celtic game, and that shouldn't be the case. You know, and you can clearly see with Dundee United, they should have enough about them not to be bottom of the league. I mean, they're off the bottom now on goal difference, but those players should be performing week in, week out for Ian McCall, but they're not doing so. And I suppose both have to some of the blame the manager and the players. But no, they have to realise it's not only Rangers and Celtic they perform against. It's the teams round about them when they come. They have to start performing better, or they will be down there at the end of the season.
What about Rangers? Are they relieved they got something from that, or are they a bit worried about that performance with Celtic? You would imagine likely to go 3 points clear.
Yeah, because Celtic's performance last week at Hearts was very, very good, considering the way they've been playing recently. Rangers, I say, away from home. I mean, at Kilmarnock 2 weeks ago, I mean, it was a dreadful game, I have to say. Good victory against Motherwell, 4-1. But again, the first half performance yesterday was very worrying, and you can paper over the cracks with getting rid of Boomsong. But at the end of the day, he's the one quality defender they had. They're going to lose Craig Moore as well to Germany. Kiesnisvili and Andrews just didn't fill me full of confidence, and if anybody watching the game says otherwise, then I think they're watching a different game. So, Alec's going to have to bring some players in if they're going to be up there at the end of the season. There's no doubt about that.
Let's complete the festive picture by showing you yesterday's other game. It was at East End Park, and Dunfermline beat Dundee 3-1, and I guess it was all about the aerial power of Andy Todd, Billy.
Well, one thing about Toddy, I'm harping on here again about players I've played with in the past, but I mean, every team Toddy's went to, he's got goals. He came in loan to us and he got us a few goals. I think it was Bradford got a few down there. Dunfermline, now he's got, a hat-trick on New Year's Day. That's the best start to a new year you could ever ask for. But he's always liable to get in positions to get goals, whether it's playing as a defender, getting up at set pieces, or actually being up there as a striker. He's so versatile.
Now, he tried to claim that one. He got absolutely nothing on that. That was actually a Stephen McNally own goal,
yeah.
which is a bit of a shame for Andy, because as he scored later on, that would have been a hat-trick. This was Dundee getting a goal back through Neil Barrett. But again, as in the game we saw earlier against Kilmarnock, it really mattered little because they didn't build on this, and Dunfermline scored again.
As I said, Duff's going through a tough time just now. He did well with the players he had before, but as I say, it's catching up on him.
What he was saying was after this was that they've lost 6 goals in their last 2 games, 5 of them from crosses.
Yep, you've got to stop it at source. There's no doubt about it. I mean, when the ball's wide, I don't like to see full-backs. It's not only full-backs sometimes, but they go within maybe 6-7 yards of the crosser. To me, to stop it at source, you've got to go within a yard, get out there and block the cross, because if you can stop that cross coming in, people are not going to score goals.
But he's going to be one of the only clubs, maybe Jim Duffy, Dundee, that's not going to be able to bring players in. I was speaking to him a couple of weeks ago, and unless they get rid of players, there'll be nobody coming into Dens to improve their position.
OK, that's you up to date with all the action over the festive spell. Here's how the Bank of Scotland Premier League looks once all that information has been fed in. It's Rangers and Celtic swapping places at the top, but only on goal difference. Both have racked up 50 points so far, 14 of an advantage over Hibs in third, and Aberdeen on 35 in fourth. Motherwell 29, Hearts 27. Kilmarnock up to 23, it's Dunfermline on 20, Cally Thistle 19, a gap of 3 between the Inverness side and the bottom 3, all on 16 points. But Dundee United move up a couple of places yesterday because they've got a better goal difference than Dundee, and they've scored more goals than Livingston. So it's Dundee who are at the bottom of the pile. And Hibs have that 9-point advantage over Hearts in the league table, but it's Hearts under Craig Levine's management who won the first derby of the season. 2-1 it was at Tynecastle on the 24th of October.
Superbly struck by Ryan. The final score, Hearts 2, Hibernian 1.
So, despite all Tony Mowbray's success since taking the job as Hibs manager in the summer, he's yet to win a derby. Here he is with Scott Booth.
Tony, obviously a lot of football still to be played, but could a win today be a defining moment in the season for your young team?
No, I don't think so. It's, as you said yourself, there's a long way to go, and it's another 3 points, another opportunity to keep rolling along really for us. We're looking forward to it. Looking forward to a full house here, and I'm personally looking forward to the atmosphere. And we all love big games. That's what we're in football for. The bigger the game, the better it is.
Is this type of game today a big test for your philosophy on football?
Yeah, I think so. It's derby games. Usually they're not the best of football matches because there's too much. The players forget to play sometimes because there's too much emotion attached to them. So we've got to try and get the balance between making sure we compete and stay in this match, don't get over physical really, and when we get a chance to play, as no doubt there will become opportunities to get the ball down and play over the 90 minutes. We've got to do what we do and try and impose our game on the opposition. Have
your players learned, do you think, from the last defeat in October?
Well, you've got to learn from every defeat, and as the season goes along, hopefully lessons have been learned. I think they probably deserve to win the last game. Their strengths were far outweighed ours on that day, but the signs were coming, and I think we've progressed a lot since then.
Have you surpassed your own expectations so far this season?
I didn't really have any expectations, to be fair. I didn't really know the players I had to work with, and I came in and I've enjoyed immensely working with them. They've showed a fantastic appetite for the game and a willingness to learn and soak up knowledge. And I'm enjoying every day, and we'll see where the season takes us.
Tony, thanks very much.
Okay, so thank you.
And here's the team Tony's picked for this afternoon's derby, and it's the same team as beat Billy's Dundee United by 4-1 at Tannadice. The bad news in that is that the Frenchman Guillaume Bizelam misses out again with injury. He was always looking doubtful for this one. But it seems, Craig, that whatever tweaks Tony Mowbray makes to his team seem to work out for him.
That's right. Bit of a conveyor belt at Easter Road at the moment, I have to say. And added to the experience of Stephen Glass in there, who's having a terrific season for him, staying clear of injuries. Ryden and O'Connor up front, who I bang the drum about them most weeks. I think they're good players. Rocastle, who has been very impressive in midfield. He's missing his partner Bouzlin today, who again is a terrific player. Bouzlin come from France at the start of the season, passes the ball very well. Whittaker at right back, likes to attack, get up and down. So from Hibs' point of view, they're at home. I think they'll be looking to play a very attacking, open game today. Obviously looking to keep a clean sheet, but we do know Hibs will create chances, and they've certainly got enough in the team to upset Hearts, especially with the young players who are certainly not lacking confidence.
There's a growing depth, Billy, about the squad, and when you look at the stand today, you'll see Kevin Thompson and Scott Brown sitting there, who are going to be coming back soon, two of the top young midfielders in the country.
You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, you're talking about Rocastle there for coming in for Bouzlin, and you see in the right hand side with Whittaker and Orman last week. Orman was fantastic against us, so much pace about him, set up the first goal. And obviously they can go with the boy Murphy, I was impressed with him last week as well. With Glasser sitting in front of him, they definitely get forward, and they've got their sitting midfielder, and the two strikers well know about them. They believe the way they play, and it's working for them.
Well, losing too many goals start of the season, I think it was a scenario, I think, where it was, well, if you score 2, we'll score 3, which is very, very attacking and very entertaining. But they have to shore it up, and I think they've done that with Colwell and Murray really going back in there, and they've been better in that department. They still can improve, but going forward, they've probably arguably been the best footballing side in the division this season.
I agree with Craig. I must admit, last week especially, they've sorted out in defence, because we had a few chances against them, and they were throwing bodies in the way at the last minutes when we had a chance to get back in the game. So they've definitely sorted out defensively as well.
Well, in contrast to the Hibs side, plenty of changes in the Hearts lineup, 4 of them. In come Andy Webster, back after suspension. Neil McFarlane is brought into the midfield. Graham Weir is in from the start. Joe Hamill is there as well. Out go Kevin McKenna, Dennis Wyness, Jamie McAllister and Michael Stewart, of course, who is injured out for 3 weeks. And also missing from that Hearts lineup, of course, he's still suspended, is Patrick Kisnorbo. So wee Robbo's throwing the cards up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, I do expect more from this team, I have to say. They've got a good squad of players. Robbo's got a good squad there. They're very, very solid at the back. Have one of the best defensive records in the league, although it didn't look like that last week at home to Celtic. De Vries, lone furrow up there on his own at times. Didn't get enough support up to him last week. Hartley's been very, very good for them in midfield. I have to say this season, very, very mature player. He's came of age. But last week they didn't have any penetration at all. against Celtic. Credit to Celtic for that. But if they're going to win this game today away from home at their arch rivals, then they have to play a little bit better football. Robbo is looking to do that with him. He's trying to get him to play from the back, but a bit quicker, get it forward into De Vries's feet with a bit more quality, and get the midfield up to support. Far too deep last week. Hartley played almost in the centre-half position at times last week. He's a better player when he's in a more advanced position, as we've seen with some of his goals this season.
I get the feeling, Billy, it's a difficult time for Hearts because there's the Romanov factor. He's coming in. When will he come in? How much will he bring? What will he do? What will the changes be? How will that affect John Robertson? That's quite a lot of questions, actually. And also, Robbo is trying to change the footballing philosophy at the same time.
Yep. You expect me to answer all them?
No.
No, I just think it's no turmoil. Far from it. Robbo, they did well in Europe, had a few great results. But he's got a hard act to follow with Craig Levein as well. But he's doing well. He's finding out about his players and looking at his team today. I really think with De Vries up front, they're obviously trying to get the wee boy Weir up there feeding off him. As Craig said last week, I think De Vries was up there himself, and it was a lone furrow. It is a hard shift. So he's trying to. I think he's going attacking today. He's got, as Craig said again, defensively no problems there. Midfield getting stamp in there, getting in about it. Definitely going and trying to attack today.
This consortium thing with Romanov and that, I mean, it's get in and get it sorted. I mean, they've been bumming it up, saying, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We've heard it all before.
You're getting impatient, aren't you? You want this to happen.
You know, I think John Robertson's getting impatient. He wants to know what's going on. He wants to know what players he's going to be able to get in, what players he's going to keep. So, you know, stop talking in the newspapers about going to come in, I'm going to put 10 million, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to save the ground. Get in and do it, or don't bother at all.
Right, let's get the John Robertson version. He's with Scott.
John, is this the type of game today that your players revel in?
I think so, yes. There's no doubt about that. And if none of them did, I'd be worried. We've got vast experience of these type of games, and we'll need that today. Hibs are playing particularly well. They've got a great young side playing a lot of quality football and scoring a lot of goals. But that goes out the window in derby matches, as we all know. So today we're coming down here to do a job and get a victory.
Will it be easy today for your players to put the uncertainties at the club behind them?
Yeah, it is. Of course it is. There's no doubt about that. This is the match in the calendar that all the supporters, all the players really look forward to. You know, it's the New Year game at Easter Road. It's going to be a fantastic occasion. It's been sold out for weeks. Everybody's ready to go, and there's a real anticipation on what could be a cracking match.
Let's talk about going 12 points behind, but if you win today and win your game in hand, you're 3 points behind.
Well, that's the way football is, you know, but we're just concerned about today's fixture. That's the most important one. I'd say we need to try and halt the juggernaut that Hibs are at the moment, so it would be a great place to come down and get the 3 points that would pull us back into contention again.
On a day like today, with the atmosphere that's going to be here today, is it difficult for you to not get too passionate on the sidelines?
I'd get passionate in a public park. That's the problem I've got. You know what I'm like. It's one of these things. But no, I mean, it doesn't matter what I get up to. Really, it's the players have to focus. You know, this is one of the games that you would miss. But as I say, we've got a very experienced squad out there who know what it takes to win these games, and that's what we'll be impressing them in the dressing room.
John, thanks very much. All the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the ice pack might have to be applied to the Hearts head coach in the course of this afternoon. It's quite a match when the passions are aroused in Edinburgh. Will it be a happy new year for Hibs? Will it be a happy new year for Hearts? We'll find out later on. In a matter of minutes, we'll hear from Hearts midfielder Paul Hartley, who sampled both sides of the Great Divide in Edinburgh. And we'll raise a glass to one of Hibs' stars. Stephen Glass is getting back to his best. Chat with him to come as well.
Celtic TV, home of the champions. For only £3 or €5 a month, you can upgrade your Setanta Sport subscription on Sky to include your club's TV channel. See the future. Know your history. Be at the heart. The legends. The glory. For an extra £3 or €5 a month, join the club.
With 8 pages every Saturday and a massive 24 pages every Monday. Super Goals, covering every match played in Scotland. Written by Scotland's award-winning writer and leading columnists. Giving you great football analysis and commentary. Because we're big in Scottish football. The Scottish Sun, we love it.
Oh shit, oh shit. Could you push your button? Could you feel that switch? Could you push your button? Like you're up and itch.
Colt, the new small car from Mitsubishi, from just £7,999 on the road.
In Edinburgh, this is the match that matters most. You can keep your Old Firm match as far as they're concerned. The intense rivalry between Hibs and Hearts ensures that Derby Day conjures up a high-octane atmosphere. Hate is in the air when these two get together. The Easter Road action is live, only on Setanta Sports. And you won't miss much from Celtic Park today either. Martin O'Neill's team slipped back into second spot in the SPL on New Year's Day. That was yesterday. On goal difference, today they plan to replace Rangers at the top. The key moments as they happen from Celtic Livingston will be coming your way, along with lengthier highlights later. For all the talk about the Hibs kids, and Riordan, O'Connor, Shields and Whittaker have been outstanding, one or two of the old stagers, or older, have made an important contribution as well. Stephen Glass has started to reproduce the sort of form which took him from Aberdeen to Newcastle 6 years ago and won him a Scotland cap. He's been talking to a former teammate of his, Scott Booth.
Stevie, is the form surprise to you?
Not really. I think there's always a belief there that we could do well, but when you're as far up the table as we are at the minute, we only get there through probably the hard work that we've put in as well. So it's pleasing that we've been rewarded for the effort, I think, as much as anything.
A lot of effort, as you say, but mostly a lot of good play, a lot of nice, silky soccer.
Well, we've got a lot of decent players here, so I think the way the manager wants us to play, it's quite pleasing for the players that are here. I think it's not alien to any of them, the way he wants us to play. We're all enjoying it, and hopefully it can continue for the rest of the season.
And you personally, you seem to be more responsible, a little bit more of an older head there in a young side.
Well, I'm probably the oldest player that's playing quite regularly, so you do need to take on a wee bit of responsibility, but that can only be good for me as well. But the young lads help me as well in the respect that they can run a bit for the whole match, and sometimes it can keep me going as well.
Is that important for you, do you think, at this time in your career, to have youth around you to keep you young almost?
Yeah, I'm not that old though. I'm only 28, so it's not like I'm like an old man in this team, right enough. But in any other team in the league, possibly it'd be sort of one of the middle group.
So is the whole team learning as well as improving? Are they learning because they are a young side?
You would hope so. I think you never stop learning. The older players, the manager himself, everyone, we're all continuing to learn, and hopefully it can benefit Hibs as we do that.
You mentioned the manager. He's been a massive influence so far this season. He's got a real philosophy in football that means play football and don't be afraid to play football. Is that something that's helped you personally as well?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the way he's wanting us to play. He encourages everyone to pass it. He was maybe criticised a wee bit for that at first, and that was maybe people that didn't know exactly what he was aiming to do here, and they didn't believe that he could do that. But the group of players that he's got here, we believe that's the right way to do it. Obviously, you've got no choice. The manager tells you how to play. So, but we're well pleased with that, and I think you can see the benefits it's having so far.
Your form going into the Hearts game is fantastic. 3 wins in a trot. Is that the best way to go into an Edinburgh derby?
It's the best we could have done, so we're pleased with that. But obviously, we know we went in on the back of a good run the last time. We got quite easily beaten, so we'll be looking to hope that doesn't happen again. And the form book doesn't really matter too much, but obviously you would rather be winning.
I remember, Billy, last time you were in the studio, you were raving about Stephen Glass, and he's getting better and better the more he plays.
I think because he stayed injury-free. What a lovely guy he is. Great as a kid, always listened to you. Can't believe I'm talking about Glass being experienced, because that makes me so much older.
Well, you are.
Well, I'm going to handle that.
You're older than me, so that's...
But, I mean, he's got a great left foot on him, as you see here, and I think he strikes a volley as well. And I mean, he always listened as a guy, and as I said to you before, he was always first on Ruud Gullit's team sheet. I mean, he loved him. He was destroying full-backs. He was a left winger before. And although he's been playing left back for us, but he's pushed up that bit now, and I think they're getting the best out of him, because he can see passes, he can score you a goal, and once he's playing regular and staying clear of injury, he's always a threat.
Remember when he was a young lad at Aberdeen? Well, what a terrific player he was. Now, as a player, speaking from experience, look at that. Good, technical ability. As a player like myself who had a lot of injuries, I mean, Stephen Glass had a real problem with injuries and having a real run in the team, and at the moment he is getting that, and he's staying clear. Hopefully I'm not going to put the kiss of death on him, but just thinking about it, some of the players that have played for Scotland recently, and you look at somebody like Stephen Glass and his ability. I mean, he has played for Scotland, but somebody with his ability should have been playing 20, 30, 40 times,
Yeah, so why not? What's happened? Why not? What, if he was a first pick for Ruud Gullit, if he played for Scotland 6 years ago, is it purely injury, or is there another reason why he's lost the way?
No, Rob, I think it's just because his injuries, and it came staggered as well. He couldn't get over them, as Craig said, a bit like him, but he's actually came back, unlike Craig. Craig chucked
We're still waiting for him.
It was my excuse. It's always difficult to play after you've been injured, and I'm sticking to that. It is difficult when you don't get a run on the side, and you continually back in that treatment table, then you can't put any decent form together. Now, I mean, left-sided players are few and far between, it has to be said, and here in Stephen Glass we've got a quality one, and he is doing the job for Tony Mowbray at the moment.
Well, he's the supplier, and if you need a finisher, well, Derek Riordan's not a bad shout, is he? 12 goals already this season, so you would imagine he's well on the way to 20 if he can stay clear of injuries. And he's a special talent, and he's so confident in his own ability, Billy, that he'll try anything. Yep,
he's been a real find. He's got everything, the boy. I mean, he comes short and links up as well, but he also gets his cell in the box, and he can pull wide as well. It's incredible. I mean, some of the goals he's hit have been ridiculous. Just like, he can strike the ball so well. We spoke about him before in this programme as well. I mean, he just goes and takes things, doesn't even think about it, swings leg, bang, it's in the bottom corner. I mean, that's the way he is, and he proves it's no fluke by doing it time and time again. Look
That's
at
a great goal. That's a great goal.
Have you ever seen a ball hit better than that?
It's incredible. It's like the old golf club one, it just comes right 300 yards up the fairway.
So as a defender, he's coming at you and you haven't a clue whether it's going to be right foot or left foot, what he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, he's got loads of ability. I just hope in 4 or 5 years' time, Rob, we're still talking about this lad. I mean, me and you might not be. We'll be out of job with him, but, hopefully we don't see this.
Can you not include me in that, please?
Yeah, well, unfortunately you're in there. But, we see so many young players coming through and then they disappear. I just hope that some of these young players in Scotland at the moment coming through, Riordan especially being one of them, that we're still talking about him in years to come, whether it be at Hibs or somewhere else, because he is a talented player. We have to nurture him properly, and hopefully we're going to see him not too distant future under Walter Smith in the national team.
And of course, a lot of the strength about Hibs is that it's not just Riordan, it's O'Connor, a different style of player, but together they're very effective.
It's a great balance, Rob. You've got the big target man, holds things up, gets on the end of things, flicks things on, and you've got Riordan who's getting round about him. And I think they're definitely bringing out the best in one another. I mean, they both scored against us last week, and it was a case of, obviously, Riordan scored by getting on the end of it and heading it in, but he scored off of Riordan, setting him up with the chested it right down to him. So they're both linking up with one another as well, which can only be good for Hibs.
I've seen Gary O'Connor sometimes this season, Craig, and he's looked almost unplayable for a defence.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, he's aspiring to be like John Hartson. He's got a long way to go. But he's that similar build, and I'm not embarrassed about banging on about these two rather than O'Connor, because I think there's a lot of negativity, obviously, about the Scottish game. But when you see two lads like this, full of confidence and capable, I think if they're, as I said before, if they're nurtured properly, then they have got a big future. There is more to O'Connor's game than just being a big, strong lad up front. We've seen him bring players into play, hold the ball up for midfielders. He's got good awareness about him as well, and he can finish. Has to add a few more goals to his game. But his general all-round play time has been very, very good. Still a lot of improvement to be had in Gary O'Connor's game, but certainly Riordan and both O'Connor there would see yourself. The one thing they're not short of, apart from ability, is confidence.
And 21 goals between them, which ain't bad.
Phenomenal. I mean, we're speaking about it. As long as they don't let it go at their head. If they want to learn off anybody, learn off Stevie Glass, because such a mild-mannered boy, just didn't let anything go to his head, just wanted to work at his game. And players like that, although you've got to be confident, but don't let it go to your head. And I think they've got a big future in the game.
Yeah, we hope. I mean, there's agents in the game, and there's all sorts. And we've spoke before about how long should the young lads stay, and can Hibs resist? Not only Hibs, there's other teams in the SPL got good young players as well. But how long can these directors and clubs hang on to these young kids? And I certainly, from Hibs and Tony Mowbray's point of view, I hope that he's able to get a year or two, at least that alone, to improve in his performance this season from his team, and to bring these lads through. And at some point, if they do want to move from Hibs, then there will be a big move for them if they keep performing.
Well, as we've been saying, Hearts aren't being helped at the moment by the off-field uncertainty which continues to hang over the club. One thing's for sure, Paul Hartley, who had 18 months with Hibs in a previous life, is having an outstanding season for the Tynecastle team. He scored 10 goals already, the last 5 from the penalty spot. Scott Booth spoke to him at the Hearts training complex.
Paul, you must be enjoying this season so far, banning the goals and your form's been good.
Yeah, I think the difference for last year is scoring goals. Always had a lot of chances last season, but this season it's just seemed to click, and my work rate's up a lot more, and I'm enjoying it. This season, I've got 10 goals, which I'm pleased with, but hopefully I can continue that to the end of the season and try and get my tally up.
The pens have got a lot to do with that as well, obviously. But before you were on the pens, you were scoring goals pretty freely. Yeah, Big Elvis missed a couple of penalties, and I took the responsibility. You still got to go and score them, but before that I scored a few goals, and I've scored my last 5 goals have been penalties, but I'm still pleased with the way I'm playing. What is your best position?
I'd say the middle of the park, centre of the park, and I can break for there, and I can time my runs a lot better. So I would probably say playing in the centre of the park instead of playing wide and right. It's a joy when you're scoring goals, and I think that the way we play, and we've got a sitting midfielder, and the responsibility is on myself to try and break for midfield and score goals, and it's worked well so far. The way we play, we've been playing one off Big Mark, and it's try and get somebody beyond him. If Mark can do his job in holding the ball up, then hopefully I can make the runs off him, and hopefully people will find us.
There's been a lot going on, a lot of uncertainty around Hearts Football Club. How difficult is that making it for the team?
Yeah, I think it's been a problem maybe the last 6 weeks. With the change of manager, a new manager comes in, tries to bring his own ideas. Plus we've got the other thing with the takeover. But we've got to try and get back to winning ways and get back climbing up the league where we've been doing the last year or two. And there's a lot of uncertainty with players out of contract. It might play in their minds, especially with the takeover. I don't think anybody knows what's happening around the club. But if we can start maintaining our form on the pitch, then it'll be better for everybody.
Do you think there's a little bit of players, holding on until Romanov comes in with his chequebook, or that the Romanov's holding on until the players sign? Is a little bit of cat and mouse going on there?
Yeah, I think it is. I think the players are going to look after themselves, which they're quite right to do. But if they're playing for Hearts, then hopefully they'll give it everything, and I'm sure they will.
You've got guys like Stephen Presley at the back who have seen all this before, but he's also one of the guys who is unsure at the moment of his future. How unstable does that make it, because he is your linchpin at the back?
I don't think it affects Elvis. He's our mainstay in the team. He's our captain, he's our leader, and I think he gives everybody the inspiration, and I think he'll stay focused. It's not a problem for him, and he'll keep us together, and hopefully we'll be okay.
You've seen both sides of the fence. What's that like, going into a Hibs Hearts derby game, knowing that you've played for both sides, and not many players have done that? No,
as you say, but I know I'm expecting a bit of stick on Sunday. My time at Hibs didn't go too well, but since I've came to Hearts, the fans have got right behind me, and it's not been a problem for being a former Hibs player. But I know I'm going to be in for a bit of treatment on Sunday, and hopefully it'll be the right result in the end.
Is this a case of a one-off game, or is there a lot more to it at the moment because of the points difference between you?
I think it's a must-win game for us. Hibs have been flying this season, and we've got to take your hat off to them. They've been going really well, but we know what our job is on Sunday. It's a derby game, and I think the league form goes out the window in derby games. I think you feel the lead up to the game like a couple of days before it. You know, the atmosphere's absolutely tremendous. You know, the boys are flying in training, and when you get into the game, it's just a great atmosphere, and it's a great game to play in. You know, they talk about the Celtic Rangers games, but this is just as big.
His 18 months with Hibs were forgettable. His 18 months with Hearts have been memorable. Quite simply, Craig, Paul Hartley's playing the best football of his life, isn't he?
Well, he is. He's matured. He's always a lot of talent. I mean, he's been around a lot of clubs. Tried a stint in England as well. Didn't quite work out for him. I think this is the one club now he's at. It's really had a run on his side, and it's now working for him. He's playing the best. He's not short of confidence. He's always been a confident lad. He's now on penalties because Stephen Presley missed a couple. But he is scoring goals from midfield as well. He can see a pass, as I say, and he's not frightened to take responsibility. And I think Hearts are reaping the rewards of a player now, you know, who's been about and he's seen how difficult it is, and he's settled down. And he's a player who really drives Hearts forward. I say, played too deep last week for me against Celtic. I would like to see him today in a more advanced position. As we can see him here, once he gets into these positions, he has got the ability to finish like this into the far corners. So, looking forward to seeing how he performs today.
It's strange, Billy, how a player suddenly clicks. I mean, he's been around a long time, Paul Hartley. He's been around a lot of clubs, and suddenly it's all happening for him.
Some clubs suit you, Rob. You go there. I mean, I was okay.
Well, you tried a few, didn't you? You sampled a few.
I should know better
Still
than
looking
anybody.
for it.
No, obviously Dundee United my first time. Aberdeen, I loved it, and then obviously under Alec Miller things weren't going so great for me. Ended up moving to Tannadice with Paul Sturrock, and it just clubs suit you and they play the way you want. They build your team around you, and I think Hearts have built around him. I mean, you all talk about the penalties. You've got to score them. It's a pressure situation, but what a down-to-earth guy is as well. Lovely guy. Easy to talk to, and I mean, he's obviously, as Craig said, he's matured, and I think that's helped his game so much.
And obviously what was coming through in that interview with Paul Hartley, although he's maybe not immediately affected himself, is wondering who his teammates are going to be in a month's time.
I mean, it's just the position with Hearts, and as I say, this whole Romanov and the consortium thing really should have been sorted out a long time ago, but it's not, so everybody's in limbo, including John Robertson, including the players, so we have to watch this space. I mean, 14 players out of contract, how many of them are going to be left at the end of the season, nobody knows.
I think sometimes you only realise how good a player is when he's not in the team, and I think Hearts found that out last weekend against Celtic when Andy Webster wasn't there and they missed him badly.
Yeah, I thought Kevin McKenna struggled a wee bit at the back last week, although Sutton and Hartson were fantastic and really battered them about, but you know, I like this boy. You know, I played with him one time under Bertie Vogts in the Scotland team. He's
under who?
Exactly. He's got a lot of ability. He's quite a quiet, unassuming lad, you know, very down to earth, but he's got a bit of stature about him in terms of his physical presence. I fancy this could be one of the players that might be leaving Hearts. I have to say that. I'll be disappointed, but I know Craig Levein, his old manager, is very, very interested in him. A lot of clubs watching him in England, so, you know, Andy Webster might not be at Hearts too much longer, which might be a disappointment that will be to a lot of the Hearts supporters.
You would imagine Billy Walter Smith will have interest in Hartley, who we've just seen, and obviously Webster, who's pretty much in there in the Scotland squad already.
Yep, the two of them I think get named in the last squad. I think Webster, he misses Presley when he's not playing, and vice versa. I think Presley misses him. They've built up a good partnership. He's a good player, he is a quiet lad, but he's got a bit of stature about him because he's not scared to put it about, let me tell you that. He can command, he goes there and he goes through his tackles as well. And we've spoke about it, Hearts have not got a problem at the back. Defensively, they're very, very sound.
I wonder if the Hearts fans will see much more of Mark de Vries, who's been such an effective player for them over the last couple of seasons. But the jungle drums appear to be telling us that de Vries could be heading south.
Yeah, he's like myself and Billy. He's in the sort of large shot department when he goes to a new club because he's a big, big lad. I mean, I think John Robertson was saying he's 16 stone, something, Rob, which is phenomenal for a footballer. And again, he's not played enough this season. He's been like all the Hearts strikers really. He's had his patch with injuries and he's not had a consistent run. But as a player, Sheffield United were linked with him, you know, Craig Levein at Leicester, you know, there are clubs down in England looking at this player, so can Hearts afford to lose him? I think the answer to that at the moment is probably not.
Do you think John Robertson, Billy, is already resigned to losing him and he's already thinking about a new style of play which doesn't involve de Vries? Because when he's there, you have to play a certain way, don't you?
Yep, you definitely do. I think he's resigned to losing him. I think it looks as if he's going to go. But again, where does John Robertson go here? The Romanov thing again, touching on it. I mean, he's going to lose players and yet he can't plan because it's no sort sorted out at the top. I mean, they have to get this. I agree with Craig. You've got him going off on a tangent, but he definitely, I agree with him. He's got to get it sorted at the top, and then you can go and plan for the future, especially when you're losing players, your key players.
But the one thing De Vries needs, Rob, is an improvement on the service he got last week. I mean, some of the garbage that he got dished up to him last week, running about his chin and that. I mean, there was no quality up to him. He couldn't get into the game, and I think that borne through in his frustration. When you see it on the pitch arguing with the referee, he needs some decent quality up to him, to his feet, to hold it up, and then you'll see the best of him. He's playing up there on his own, or he has done recently, and it is very difficult to do that.
Well, Joe Hamill's in there today. He came on last week. Maybe he came on too late last week to have any great impact in the game, but he can be a useful supplier for De Vries.
Well, I definitely think they've looked at last week's game, saw that they're firing balls up to him, shelling it up to him, and he's struggling to hold them, never mind hold it and bring somebody else into the game. So they've got two boys there, in Hamill and Weir, who they're going to get up and support him and get round about him, which is only going to help Hearts.
Yeah, they play narrow in midfield a little bit. That's the way John likes to play. He likes to play with maybe just one, just slightly off De Vries, a little bit of a diamond in midfield with too narrow. Because Stamp, who play on the right, is not a wide. He's not going to play wide in the right and tape. So he play narrow in there, hoping for the fullbacks to get forward, which they didn't do last week. But that's the way John wants to play. He's still trying to get that over to his team. It takes time, but I just think he's got a tough job in terms of the whole transitional period at Hearts at the moment with the consortium with players out of contract. But one thing he has to do, and he knows that, he has to start getting results.
One of the most striking features about today's game for me is the turnaround. Hearts last season finished 24 points ahead of Hibs, and today, if Hibs win, they'll go 12 points clear.
It's amazing how everything comes together. You get a manager in who believes in the way he should play the game, on the deck, pass the ball, never change it for anybody, even when if the goals down in games. And then, obviously, when they get results, the confidence builds in that, and then they feel as if they can't get beat, and what a turnaround. But Hearts are still not doing badly. It's just I think Hibs have took another step on now.
So how's it going to go? Forecasting the outcome of the Edinburgh Derby is a dangerous pastime. Often current form has no great bearing on the result. Here's a flavour of the fixture from the last few seasons.
Just to know your name. 17 tracks and I've had it with this game. I'm breaking my back just to know your name. But heaven ain't close in a place like this. Anything goes, but don't think you like this. 'Cause heaven ain't close in a place like this. I said heaven ain't close in a place like this.
The first meeting of Hibs and Hearts was in 1895. They didn't like each other much then, and not much has changed in the last 110 years. That's the live match. It's coming your way. And here's what we've got for you in the rest of January. For new subscribers, these are the numbers you need to know. Sky customers should call 08700 50 69 70. If you're with NTL, it's 0800 052 4000. Telewest customers should phone 0845 142 0000. If you're in the Republic of Ireland, the numbers are like this. With Sky, it's 0818 71 99 99. And with NTL, 1800 234 234. If you need any more information, you'll find it on setanta.com. It's Derby Day in Edinburgh, and the commentators at Easter Road, Mark Hateley and Jock Brown.
Yes, indeed, Rob. Thanks very much. It's bitterly cold up here, but a terrific atmosphere and a great sense of anticipation for this Derby match. I'm certainly looking forward to it very much indeed. And Mark Hateley, of course, is an expert in derbies. Rangers against Celtic, Milan against AC Milan, against Inter Milan, and Monaco against Nice and Marseille. What's special about them, Mark?
I think just that special sort of character. We all say about the form book going out the window, but a special sort of character comes to the fore when you're battling against your nearest rivals. And it's normally those that come out on top, individual battles all around the park. Everybody has to be up for it, and that's why the form book does go out, because whoever's the hungriest on the day in these sort of derby games will always come out on top.
Well, let's just see who's going to come out top this afternoon. We certainly have no surprise to find that Hibs manager Tony Mowbray names exactly the same team as the one which demolished Dundee United at Tannadice 4-1 last week. The notable absentee is Guillaume Berzelin, whose ankle injury keeps him out and allows Austrian international Alan Orman to continue in midfield.
Yep. Big loss that, Berzelin, for Hibs. Very industrious in that midfield area, but in the 4-4-2 formation, O'Connor and Ryden absolutely on fire together, these two, this season. Murray and Caldwell at the back, they'll have a big game against Big De Vries, so exciting times these.
And Hearts make 4 changes from the team, beaten by Celtic last week. Andy Webster returns from suspension to replace Kevin McKenna at centre-back. Otherwise, the 3 substitutes from last week start. Joe Hamill, Graham Weir and Neil McFarlane, with Jamie McAllister, Dennis Wyness and Michael Stewart dropping out.
Into the 4-4-2 situation, I think John Robinson will be anxious if that form book does go out the window, but not very good last week. Hearts, Webster coming back in there alongside Presley, a big loss last week, and De Vries and Weir pairing up front.
So 4-4-2 playing against 4-4-2, we anticipate, unless either manager comes up with something unusual. Well, I have some far-travelled supporters for this Edinburgh derby, and it really has caught the imagination of the city of Edinburgh. There's no doubt at all about that. The Hearts supporters coming here with a terrific recent record. They really have dominated these derbies in recent times, and they'll be hoping to get back on the rails, despite the fact that Hibs are without question the form team.
Absolutely, I think Tony Mowbray will be pleased with the way his team's been playing. We've seen them a few times this year, exciting pairing up front, and looking every inch the team that they are positioned in the league at the moment. A lot of points between the two. As you say, 4-4-2 formation set up today. Each player will be playing up against his opponent. Nobody will be able to hide out there. And I say, all down to individual battles all over the park.
Well, it's the last few minutes before the kick-off for the players. Nervous times these. They really want the formalities over as quickly as they can to get down to the serious business. Stephen Presley, incidentally, is the only player taking the field over the age of 30. That's quite remarkable. 7 of the players starting are 21 and under, and 5 of these play for Hibs. Just 2 for Hearts. The usual reception for the two teams. The Hibs fans with great anticipation, because they really think they're on the brink of something very special indeed, and they've every reason to think that.
Ian Murray, yeah, captain, who's led the side into this current run of form. Big links now with Rangers Football Club. Could this be his last derby game against Hearts?
Well, a very interesting situation that. Paul Hartley's the lengthy apprenticeship before blossoming with Hearts. 8 goals in 43 appearances for Hibernian, but he scored 10 in 26 appearances this season for Hearts, and really has blossomed to the fringe of the Scotland international squad. Experienced referee for the big game is Dougie MacDonald, who's in charge, and there will be a minute's silence for the tsunami disaster before the game starts. The announcement confirming the minute's silence. you could have heard a pin drop, and that reflects great credit to everyone inside the stadium. We're all set for the business ahead. Hibs coming into this match having won only one of the last 9 meetings with Hearts. Hearts have won 5 of the last 8, 2 of the last 3. So clearly, on that basis, Hearts should be favourites, but it's on the basis that Hibs have shown all the form this season. 3rd place in the Premier League and looking very, very impressive. They're off the mark now with Gary O'Connor starting the game with Derek Riordan. And the opening exchanges, as ever, very important to establish some kind of authority and strength in the game. The header away there was by Gary Caldwell. That's David Murphy's header. Shields in the centre of midfield. Presley takes charge there from his young central defensive partner, Andy Webster.
Always fast and furious, the opening encounters, Jock. As you say, it's always important, the first tackle, the first incident up against the player you're playing against. A little bit of intimidation to set your stall out.
Nazim Murray, the clearing header. Craig Broadcast is now a revelation for Hibs, having come here on loan from Chelsea. Played inside there by Orman. This is Shields. Another touch for Craig Gordon in the goal. One of only 2 players in the Hearts ranks, with Robbie Nielsen, who's played in every match this season. So a throw to Hibs. David Murphy will take it. He also has been a huge success since arriving from Middlesbrough. He played for England at under 15 to under 19 level all the time. Surprising release from Middlesbrough. A very heavy challenge made by De Vries on Murray. As we heard, 16 stones in this tackle.
Always a difficult player to play up against, but here's a decision there for the referee. Just coming in there from behind, as you'd expect to be using his colossal frame.
I wonder, Mark, if you think that Patrick Kisnorbo will be missed, he's suspended for Hearts.
Absolutely, I think he's an outstanding player, and anybody of that sort of quality will be missed.
Newcastle challenging strongly. On the face of it, it looks as though Hearts have a greater physical presence in the side.
I think it goes back to the last derby game, doesn't it? There's a lot of, should we say, bullying tactics put in, but you have to play to your strengths. It's not all about playing the perfect game. You have to win that physical side of the battle, and Hearts definitely do have that. It'll be interesting to see who does actually pick up the Vries, whether it's Caldwell or Murray. At the moment, he's just floating across the back line.
And Graham Weir chosen today to partner him, playing a little bit deeper. Strong play by Whittaker. Kept in by Shields. That's a corner kick. Excellent full-back play by Stephen Whittaker, who for me is one of the outstanding successes of the season.
Yes, it's been good to watch this season, Stephen Whittaker. Always likes getting forward. Quite prepared to carry the ball, run into the space. Good positive start.
So dead ball man, again, Derek Riordan. It does appear on the face of it as though Hearts do have the capacity there to cope with high crosses. Gary O'Connor certainly can be a handful, and Gary Caldwell's also joined him up there. Back it comes to Whittaker. Well, deflection means another corner kick.
That's why the delivery has to be good from set pieces today for Hibs. For the wide areas, corners and free kicks. No good just hanging the ball up there. It's just food and drink for the Hearts defenders.
A little hold up here. There's a Hearts player requiring some treatment before the game can continue. I think it's the man who blocked that shot from Stephen Whittaker, Graham Weir, who's feeling the full brunt of that. The physio, very experienced man, checking carefully on young Weir, and he'll be withdrawn for a moment or two. Well, he scored twice, Graham Weir, in a 4-4 draw the last time this game was played at New Year 2 years ago. So they'll want him back in the field. He'll really fancy this opportunity. So Weir on a second attempt to take this corner. Here Post ball shot away by Stamp. Handle turn now by Murphy. Caldwell playing it wide there towards Shields. And Maybury heading for Rosed. Not an occasion to take any chances. Bruce Whittaker. Showing good awareness there. Missed out Stephen Glass with the pass, who was closely marked. This is Newcastle. Plays with immense energy, but also with a very good touch on the ball. That's given away by Whittaker. A good recovery tackle. And Murray has a chance to play the ball back to Tony Mabry's first signing for Hibs. Simon Brown in goal. That's Rocastle's header. Ormond did well to get away from Mabry. It's a great chance for Hibs. And Mabry made a good recovery. Shields with a shot at goal. Well blocked by Gordon. First time chance there for Glass. And Hearts have survived so far. All hands to the top there for Hearts. Craig Gordon not at all happy with the cover he was offered there.
Great work by Ormond on the flank there, just turning Mabry inside. Mabry getting himself back. Shields getting the shot up. Gordon with a super save there. Great start for Hibs. Another great save there. Stayed nice and big there. Made sure he kept his eye on the ball. Glass with a right foot shot. Knocking the ball, good strong hands, back the way it came. Well out of dangers.
Well, that's a very impressive start, this, from Hibernian. And Mabry goes in thundering fashion there in Ormond. Very fine kick of the ball, Simon Brown. This is Glass, robbed by Stamp. Now McFarlane. Well, Hamill for Hearts. Stamp made a very good run. He hasn't been matched. And it was very carefully looked after there by Simon Brown at that near post. His large frame in the way. Good play though. Good response from Hearts. Well, there is a settling-in period in these derby matches always, but it's still going on. Tends to last a little bit longer in normal games. That's well judged by Murray in front of De Vries. This is Presley. Hartley showing excellent footwork. McFarlane's pass. Good challenge made by Murphy. So Robbie Nielsen, only 2 other presents for Hearts this season, will take this. Capable of throwing it a long way in there. De Vries, the obvious target. Well won there by Murray again. There you go. Initially, what about leaving that to Brown, but did well with the clearance. Here's O'Connor. Testing the pace of Presley, and he's just eased off the ball by the Hearts captain.
Didn't see a lot in that. Stephen Presley read what Ruder was going to do, just got himself in front of him. Ruder went down. O'Connor went very easily down there, but put in his side a free kick.
Instructions coming all the time from the Hibs bench. Tony Mowbray, Mark Venus, the management team. Played in there by Glass. And the offside flag was up. Either Caldwell or Murray, I'm not sure which. Well, there's the answer. Well, Gary Caldwell clearly offside.
He just drifted in there, just drifted offside, just got in over anxious to get that. The wrong side or the right side for the defence.
Well, once again, a high ball which Mark De Vries didn't win. Hibs coping very well indeed with the service that De Vries so far. Turned away by Webster. Playing his 125th match for Hearts, just 22 years old. A lot of experience there, 14 international caps as well. Murphy again. Now O'Connor. Deflection means a corner.
Good play there from Hibs. Webster doing well. Murphy doing well, just sliding the ball in there. Webster actually getting caught in there. The Hearts back forward pushed up and left him on his own with O'Connor. Recovered the situation.
Wilder's delivery generally is very good indeed. That's no exception. An awkward one in the near post, won by Stamp. Shields did well. Graham Weir back on the field there. Can only help that out. Headed away by Maybury. This is Hamill. I wonder if Hearts have been perhaps less physical than you expected, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, they found it hard to get on the ball for a start-off. I think Hibs have played very, very well in the opening encounters. The balls that have actually come up to De Vries have just been long, hopeful balls. Caldwell and Murray have dealt well with it. I think Hibs have dictated at the moment.
Well, here's the chance of Hartley to break in the left for Hearts. And it was blocked well there by Whittaker, who initially gave possession away. That's unusual for him.
I think the trouble that Hearts have had, they found themselves under so much pressure in the opening 10 minutes that they're just looking to launch the long ball forward instead of building the play-up, which they, over the John Robertson era have traditionally done.
Interesting too that Stephen Presley has not gone up for this corner kick. Always a good one by Glass. Now Stamp. A hopeful one. Just thinking over the advancing defence, hoping for a run out, but there was none available. Both sides actually keeping the midfields quite narrow too.
Keeping it nice and tight in that midfield area.
Broadcaster charging on, halted by Stamp. And Joe Hamill, the other wide midfield player, back helping too with the pass back. Well, no contact by either player, and the Hibs fans thought that Caldwell was fouled by De Vries. Presley helping on to Hartley. This is Hamill. A terrific pressure play by Hibs. A little bit hopeful that ball from O'Connor. Well, the face going up strongly there, and there's a hold up. I don't think it's a free kick. I think it's a hold up because Whittaker took a knock. I don't think he gave a foul, did he?
Well, just took a knock in the rib cage there. Just a bit of a knee there, and straight into the side of Whittaker's rib cage.
And he did give the free kick. And rightly so on that evidence.
De Vries pulling himself around, as you would expect.
Whittaker appears to have recovered quite quickly. That's well won there by Weir for Hamill. Only De Vries is a target in the middle. De Vries trying to set up Weir. Robbed very neatly by Maybury, and the free kick's been given. I think the advantage could have been applied there.
I think McDonald a bit keen, a bit quick with the whistle there. Maybe it read Orman what he was trying to do and was away from him into space.
Webster has joined the attack here. Still Presley staying back. Put in by Hartley, a very good ball indeed. That was begging to be attacked by a Hearts player. De Vries did try. Just started off a little too late.
Caldwell and Murphy just getting it right there, but a fantastic delivery from Hartley into really dangerous areas. Flat, low, hard. And De Vries 3 or 4 yards away from it. A dangerous area, nevertheless.
stumbling there. He challenged the corner. It breaks back now for Webster. This is Hamill. On the near side is Nielsen. A stamp ahead of him. Caught Weir off balance. That's very confident play by Caldwell, and he was fouled by the crease. But once again, the advantage could have been applied. Caldwell picks out Rocastle, who's in trouble there against Weir. Farland did well. Weir to Stamp. Interception made very effectively by Gary Caldwell. Hartley back to Maybury. Hearts battling here to get a foothold in the game. Hibs enjoying the bulk of possession. Brilliant turn by Glass. Here's Riordan. Coming off that left flank from which he's been operating so far in the game. Orman. Couldn't get that beyond Maybury. He's confident defending there by Maybury. Murray to Murphy. Murphy playing directly against a former Brisbane clubmate for a start, and it's Murphy who's holding sway at the moment. Oh, it's fine play by Murphy, and the block was made by Presley.
Super play from Murphy there, good defended from Presley. Hibs stroking the ball around well there. Murphy getting himself in that advanced position.
A very bright start of the match from Hibs. Can they cash in? Riordan's corner, and touched on there by Craig Gordon. Was it behind? Well, it was turned behind by the Hibs attacking player.
Gordon just getting a touch on there. Shields just falling away from the ball there.
Entitled to be very pleased with this start, Tony Mowbray. Good challenge by Caldwell. So a good start to the match. That's Glass. Looking for Riordan. Good goalkeeping. That's a very good piece of play by Hartley. Coming forward there, it looked as though McFarlane was holding Shields back, but the referee was right on the spot and something amiss. Northern Irishman from Arsenal. Well, difficult task for a very experienced official, Dougie McDonald. Shields. Couldn't get it past Nielsen. Weirdly well there, going back with Murray. Make life difficult for the Hibs captain. Hamill. Well tackled by Glass. And a late challenge there, coming from Orman. It's a free kick to Hearts. John Robertson with instructions from Maybury. The best thing about the start of the match for Hearts' point of view is that it's still all square.
Yeah, I think they've just settled down. I think it's taken them 15 minutes to get to terms with the pace of the game. Now they started to make the passes that you would expect Hearts to make in that midfield area.
Well, I don't know there was a call there. Not certain that Simon Brown said anything at all to his teammates ahead of him. Could have been an embarrassment.
As soon as that bounced, I thought, whoops, this is going to go over his head. Took it pretty calmly in the end.
Hibs win the loose ball again. It's Whittaker. O'Connor. Orman looking for the run made by Whittaker, which was spotted by Presley. assistant on the far side, gives that verdict.
Stephen Presley knew what he was doing there. Yeah, just getting the ball in between the ball and Whittaker. Just feeling that little push and straight down. Get yourself a free kick. I think a little concern for me, if I was John Robertson, is we're trying to get my front two a little bit closer together, Weir and De Vries. De Vries is not the most mobile, and I think it's up to Weir to try and get himself a little bit closer to him.
Good hit there by Weir, turned away by Murphy. Straight to the chest of Presley. This is Hamill. Oh, it's fine play by Hamill. Completely beat Stephen Whittaker there. Looking to have a word with the Hibs defender.
Yeah, poor defending there from Whittaker. Hamill actually going nowhere, going out for a throw, and if anything, and committing himself, Whittaker there to the tackle. No chance of getting the ball, putting himself and his team under pressure.
Small chance perhaps for the Priest on this set piece. Very good position for a whipped-in ball from Hartley. Webster also on the near post. There's one by Weir. Scrambled away by the Hibs defence. That's Nielsen.
Poor effort there from Nielsen. Great ball in again from Hartley. Nearly fall into Webster. And then Nielsen.
Well wide. One goal he scored this season against Basel in the UEFA Cup. The Priest looking there for the run made by Hartley, and it's met by Whittaker. Winning play by these Hibs players, Rocastle in particular.
Good closing down there from the Hibs forward and back up for the midfield players.
Hartley again getting more and more of the ball. That will suit Hearts very well indeed. There's Nielsen. Too long for the Priest. Hearts of the throw. Well, they've ride well now, Hearts, after the start of the match, in which Hibs dominated totally, but that's good play again by Hamill. Wilson trying to play it back. It's Presley now, using Craig Gordon. Hamill's crossed over to the right. Great left foot. That's too much pace in the ball for Graham Weir.
Hamill there just forcing the issue, forcing the pass. Got a lot of options on in the midfield area. But, it's a better period for Hearts. Starting to take control of that midfield area. John Robertson, we're very pleased with the last 10 minutes, yeah.
O'Connor did well. That's Webster. Newcastle helping that on for Whittaker. That's very confident play by Maybury. Here's O'Connor with a shooting chance. They're rammed in! Hibs have the lead! Getting Ryan's 13th goal of the season. He got the break of the ball, but did he take advantage?
Goal coming through against the run of play. Hearts have just settled down. Maybury had done all the hard work. Hartley giving the ball away. Then a catalogue of errors. A bit of good fortune as you need. But can't give the ball away there. Hartley just getting the rebound. Ryden in the right place at the right time. That's the goal scorer for you.
Well, Derek Ryan has now made it 6 goals in 7 games, with the rest of this one still to come. scored the last 2 derbies. That's 3 derby matches in a row he's scored in.
It must be said, top goal coming in Hart's best period of play.
Happens so often. Wilden's finish really was clinical. 2 excellent feet he has for shooting at goal. The noise you hear coming from the Hibs supporters. They're relishing this all right. But we are going up well. Here's Wilson. In goes Presley. Well, Hart certainly needs his leadership this afternoon. Expression doesn't change much until he Mowbray retreats success and failure with similar magnanimity, really. Webster's header. There's Rocastle. With Glass, a senior citizen in this Hibs team at 28. Stephen Glass. President full stretch, and the offside flag was up against the corner. Well, that was not necessary. An exchange there between Shields and Webster.
Webster apologises straight away there. We're taking no action.
Presley playing it long, looking for De Vries. The wind causing a bit of a problem there, I think. Good play by O'Connor. Newcastle's pass picks out Riordan. Was met there by Webster. Webster again. Good turn by Stamp. Well, good return also by De Vries, promising now for Hearts. They have players forward, Hartley, and Weir in the box. Almost caught out Simon Brown with a near post shot.
It's the best we've seen from Stamp, getting himself forward into the space. I think an optimistic effort there. Brown got the post well and truly covered, and in the end well wide. And he had advancing Hartley through the middle as well, and Weir took up the option to have the shot.
Resolved in the end there by Hartley's hopeful ball wide here, which Murphy will retrieve for Hibs. It's beyond Presley, and Gordon has to collect. Good mix Hibs have up front with the power of O'Connor and the support from midfield from Shields, rather than coming off the left. Orman coming off the right.
You know, good flexibility, Jock. Good mobility as well. Always a handful. Mobility is the key when you're a striker. Drag the defenders all over the park. Got good players around you as well. You're prepared to do the same.
And there's Dean Shields backtracking there. And a good tackle on Hartley. Important touch there by Caldwell. That would have reached De Vries otherwise. So Hearts continue. Stamp on the left, Hamill on the right. Tackle came from Orman.
Look at Hart's attacking options. The focal point is always De Vries. And that becomes, pretty stereotyped, pretty easy to defend against if you're setting up. If there's only one way of attacking. When you look at Hibs, they have 3 or 4 different focal points and lots of options.
Here's Paul Hartley with the corner. It's a good one to aim toward De Vries, who got the touch. He thought it was deflected afterwards. He's not a happy man. Well, we saw in that film a lot last week against Celtic, and it didn't help his performance, Mark.
No, sort of lost the plot, lost its concentration. Clearly coming off the head of De Vries there. We saw against Celtic, you're right, Jock. As soon as he started to complain and moan, he lost his discipline and his game went to pieces.
Wooden again causing a problem for Webster in the air. Push there by the three, surely on Whittaker. Yes, it's been given. He's not a happy man, Mark de Vries.
As soon as that hand goes on the back, easy decision for the referee.
No, he's going to thin ice now, I would think, as far as yellow cards are concerned. Keeping a firm grip on things here without yet using a card. Came off Mabry's head and well taken by Gordon. His 63rd consecutive match for Craig Gordon. Again, good judgment shown by Caldwell. Murray has a chance to change the point of build up here to the left for Hibs. It's good play by Riordan. Took up excellent position to receive the pass. Orban helps it on, and so Connor's return. Well, that was well worth the first time effort, that from Alan Orban.
Yeah, super play there from Hibs. Good play from Murray to Riordan. Good diagonal ball. Good link-up play there between Orman and O'Connor. And we've seen Orman rifle shots into the back of the net from there. Bitterly disappointed with his effort. But good play.
Again, a high ball won by a Hibs player. And the target was de Vries. Hibs playing. Newcastle, the same area in the court as Paul Hartley. Showing a bit of respect there. Well, Presley can see nothing on ahead, so the use of the goalkeeper was quite appropriate in these circumstances. Header that time by de Vries, but no on the left side taking advantage. Hartley's turned that into a decent ball though. Elusive play by Hartley, wins the throw. A little lack of movement there at the throw from Hart, so too many options for the thrower, Alan Mabry.
Pretty static, yeah. Saying that about the front line at the moment. Need to be a little bit more mobile. Starting to play together. Kind of interchanging.
Forcing one again by Whittaker. He's so good at that, but he's held up by Webster. Riordan forcing Gordon to hurry. That's Dean Shields back there helping defensively.
Just dropping back in there for Whittaker, who'd just been on that gallop up the park.
It's good team play, that. Good understanding. Webster joining in. Mabry's cross. Here's de Vries. Good header back. Well read there by Murray, who got to the ball before Weir.
That's the important part of the game, that. Can't win the first header, which is always difficult against de Vries. Make sure you win the second. Murray right on the ball there.
That's a good start to the match, Murray.
I think it's always important. Great ball into the far post from Mabry. If no chance of winning it, the reaction, win that second ball. As soon as it drops, he's there with a clearance.
Simon Brown in trouble there. He's knocked the ball away from his own hands.
Little slip there, little lack of concentration. Loss of concentration, should we say. Just doing enough there.
And they're going handling the ball again. Wasn't Livy with the keeper. His instincts would have been to grab the ball again. Another corner came off Alan Orman. Signed from Royal Antwerp in 2001, £80,000. Discussion about the corner going on there. Decision appears to have been taken. Hamill's in swinger. Well, near post being protected very well by Orman. Change here, only one Hibs player going out. That's a bit surprising. Heather Weaver called, but not a very good one. Still a problem for that Hibs defence. Sorted out now by Murphy. Now been bundled off the ball by Hartley. But a very poor header there by Gary Caldwell. Almost put Hibs in serious trouble.
Yeah, I think the wind. Look at the corner flag, very blustery. Just got himself caught out by the wind there. Great play from Murphy again. Bit of a slack pass from Webster. Wee push from Hartley.
Well, if you had a word with Paul Hartley about his protest, I think he was having a little go at the assistant referee below us.
Yeah, we've seen before with Hartley's temperament. Gets wound up very, very easily.
His header knocked inside by Hamill. That's Whittaker. And this cue retrieved well though by Orman. McFarlane doing some very good scavenging work in the middle of the field. The Rocastle going in strongly on Maybury.
Rocastle anticipating what Maybury was going to do there. A little bit of a mismatch there. Does a good job, young Rocastle.
He was on loan, playing his 12th consecutive match for Hibs. Oh, that's a very free, confident header by Murphy. In a crowded box. Super play by Shields and also by McFarlane in the recovery. You have to be a real athlete these days to compete in that area of the field. There's McFarlane competing again. And Shields.
One thing you get from McFarlane. He's just picked up a knock against Shields. He does cover every blade of grass in that midfield area. Not a lot in that.
19-year-old Dean Shields. Falling back on his feet and involved again straight away. There's Hamill. Second chance now. Wants the ball in his left foot normally, and Murphy wasn't going to let that happen. That's good work by McFarlane. Now Webster. Maybury supporting, Stamp's ahead. Oh, good recovery by Stamp. Got a very powerful shot. Well, he was lucky to get the break of the ball there perhaps, but he was very, very determined.
Yeah, made a little slip there, but made up for it. Good shot. Good save from Simon Brown. Stamp had 2 or 3 of them run today. He's got his shooting boots on, shooting at every option.
Back now with Maybury. Left and under for Weir to chase. Caldwell's been resolute in that Hibs defence beside Murray. Handball appeal rejected by the referee. Murphy's headed a poor one. Here's De Vries. Oh, yet another header back to a dangerous area from a Hibs defender. This time David Murphy.
Yep, ball coming in. I think that just sums De Vries' game up at the moment. Very, very snatchy at the shot. Not getting a lot of chances or service, so when it does come to you, you tend to rush it all the time to make sure you're getting your effort off.
Well, John Roberts looking on there. It was something of a goal machine for Hearts in these derby matches in his playing career. So we must be concerned about the form of Mark De Vries at the moment. He really hasn't really proved as effective as he should be. Norman couldn't get past Maybury. And where he got over-ambitious again. But what is the problem with De Vries? He missed a lot of training when he was injured early in the season. Could that be important, Mark? Or is he thinking about his next move?
Could be thinking about all sorts of things. You don't know what's going through a player's mind, but I think Caldwell, Murray playing him very well. We saw Stan Varga last week playing very, very well. Not a lot of physical presence or trying to wrestle with him, just making sure that De Vries knows there is a presence and a defender around him and making it difficult for him.
It's a good challenge by Nielsen. Is this Hamill? Now Stamp, Maybury breaks on the left. There's Maybury again. Reacts to the call from Stamp. That's a superb tackle by Glass. The counter-attack now very much on for Hibs, rather than sprinting in from the left-hand side. And he was very well policed by McFarlane. That was good defending by Neil McFarlane. Come back in by O'Connor. Was that a foul? Well, rather than going down under the physical presence of McFarlane. I've seen them given for less, Mark.
Yeah, I think it's just in the manner in which he went down. I think that's what put the doubt into the referee's mind.
Cross from O'Connor too long. Well, it's worth looking at that again, I think, because really there was a huge foul there for a penalty, and that's at the Hearts' end too. Headed by Webster, goes straight to Murphy. Oh, it's great footwork by Murphy. Superb left foot play. Interception made by Maybury. Here's Hamill. Weir's ahead of him. Stamp to the left. Advantage allowed there. It would have been a foul by Glass otherwise. Here's De Vries. On towards Weir. Was he offside? I think he was. Free kick it is. Well, was there a penalty kick shout of some merit? A moment ago, and Derek Ryder went down under pressure from McFarlane.
Just a hopeful ball into the box from O'Connor. Didn't seem to be a lot into that. I think there's a presence there.
Will they give him a foul on the halfway line, Mark?
Maybe. But I just think it's the manner in which he goes down. I think if he tries to stand his feet a little bit longer, the referee might have taken a better look at that.
So a long ball for Simon Brown, skidding through to Gordon. That was a very quick first half. And you have the feeling there's an awful lot more to happen in this game. Just that kind of instinct you have about it. By no means done and dusted, that's for sure. Tony Mowbray will appreciate that. He's certainly not in any way allowing his team to be complacent. Here's Webster now. Presley needs some help, and it was slow in coming. Hibs in possession again with Murphy. Now O'Connor. There's going to be one additional minute in this first half. He played at a furious pace all the way through. Hibs starting so brightly, Hearts then coming right back into the match, and just when they had done that, lost that goal.
I think Hearts have had the periods, but they haven't had the sustained pressure that Hibs have had. They haven't had the retention of the ball. They haven't been able to recycle the ball.
There's Hamill. It's in for De Vries, but the angle and the swerve in the ball took it straight to Simon Brown. Here a chance now for Craig Rocastle. He used the athletic ability going through. With Orban outside him, who got into a bit of a pankle there. Hearts have the throw.
I think it's fair to say, apart from the couple of efforts that Phil Stamps had, Simon Brown has been pretty quiet.
Yes, a little bit more work for Craig Orban in this match so far. Very accomplished young goalkeeper. O'Connor battling hard for possession, so too was Weir there for Hearts. Not much space at all in that central area of the field for any of the players. Wesley again looking for De Vries. Caldwell winning another good ball. Back with Murphy. The additional time almost over. Referee Dougie McDonald has checked his watch again, and that's enough for the first half of this Edinburgh derby. It's Derek Riordan has made the difference, as he has done so often this season, with a great opportunist finish after 24 minutes. It came after Paul Hartley lost possession here. The tackle from Stephen Glass. Then the pull shot by O'Connor broke off Shields. And what a finish it was by Riordan. That's what makes a difference in half-time in the Edinburgh derby. Derek Riordan has given Hibs a crucial lead, but Hearts are by no means out of this, and there's a lot more action to come. And half-time at Easter Road, Hibernian 1, Hearts 0.
Rangers TV. Watch this season's events unfold from the very heart of Ibrox. Add Rangers TV to your Setanta Sports subscription on Sky for £3 or €5 a month. See the legends. Relive the glorious past. Spot the stars of tomorrow. Meet the men who really matter. Wallow in nostalgia. Enjoy the big interviews. For an extra £3 or €5 a month, bring Rangers home today.
The new Mitsubishi Grandis. You won't want to drive anything else.
With 8 pages every Saturday and a massive 24 pages every Monday, Super Goals, covering every match played in Scotland. Written by Scotland's award-winning writer and leading columnists, giving you great football analysis and commentary, because we're big in Scottish football. The Scottish Sun, we love it.
Well, Hibs are halfway towards opening up a 12-point gap between themselves and Hearts in the SPL. One goal so far, and it's Derek Riordan with his 13th of the season and his 7th in the last 8 games. He's hot, that's for sure. I wonder will he figure in Walter Smith's forthcoming plans for Scotland. 1-0 in the Edinburgh derby. And not a whole lot of football being played, I guess, but Hibs aren't complaining at this stage because they have their noses in front, Craig.
That's right. I mean, it's not been a classic, but I suppose from derby games you sometimes expect that. But I think for the first half an hour it was A&E for the ball. I think it was getting battered from pillar to post. It was like a hot potato. But I think out of the two teams, Hibs definitely did play a little bit better in the first half. Not probably as well as they have been playing recently, but enough to justify them going in 1-0 up. I got a bit lucky with the goal. But apart from a full stamp, a couple of shots, Hearts have really not offered enough. Sitting too deep again in midfield, I think, try to protect the back four. So I think John Robertson, from their point of view, will be looking for a wee bit more from Hearts going forward.
What are Hearts trying to do, Billy, that's not happening for them?
I think they're obviously realising how well Hibs are playing at the moment, and as Craig said, try to protect the back four, but they've got to try and get forward now. They've lost the goal. It's no use them just sitting back now. They've got to try and get midfielders up to support the strikers and try and get back in this game, but maybe been a bit overcautious, I would say, over the piece, but every time Hibs have got it, they've looked more likely.
But I agree with Mark Haley, sorry Robin, in commentary about Mark De Vries. We've seen it
sorry, what was that? I agree with Mark Haley.
I know. It's, well, it is a new year, so but last week we've seen it as well against Celtic. Continually moaning and talking away to the referee and getting involved and detracting from his game, really. And although he's not had much service, he seems to spend his whole time doing that. I think he's got to get back. Whether he's leaving Hearts or not, he is a Hearts player at the moment. He's got to get back to concentrating and doing his job properly, which is holding the ball up and bringing other players into play. Dean
Shields is a dangerous player as far as the Hearts defence are concerned, drifting between midfield and attack. And he was very much involved here with a chance in own goal. Good save from Craig Gordon. Yeah, he did it last week against us as well. He got himself forward to help his strikers. Got the break of the ball there and a great save from Gordon. And it came back across just a pity so in the Glasser swinger, as you see, his right foot. But he kept it down well. It was another good save by Gordon. But Shields is always dangerous getting forward like that.
He scored some very, very good goals recently, Stephen Glass. I mean, Craig Gordon does well there, stands up, and I think that's something Craig Gordon's quite good at, but I don't think Stephen Glass ever really was fully committed to this. I think had that been on his left foot, he'd have got a lot more power behind it. But as I said, Hibs looked more likely in the first half, without playing probably as well as they can do, but still looked more likely to score. And I think Craig Gordon was definitely the busier of the two goalkeepers. I think Simon Brown in goals made a couple of saves to make. It actually made them more difficult than they were, but apart from that, not a great deal. We spoke about Derek Riordan pre-match as being a key player, and he certainly lived up to that billing with the only goal so far. We also raved pre-match about Paul Hartley, and he was at fault here for giving the ball away. Yeah, he'll be gutted with that. I mean, he's on the ball, possession in midfield. And in spells, to be fair to him, he's actually shown a little burst. He tries to do it there, but they've read it, and this is where they get the goal from. A couple of headers. Can maybe lay Riordan in there, but he gets a break of the ball, a little bit of luck. And the way the form that the boy's in just now, there's no way he's going to miss that chance. I mean, they get a break here. They definitely get a break there because it falls to Riordan. But I don't think he's... To be fair to Hartley, I don't think his own teammate did him many favours by playing the ball into him there, and he's got bodies round him. But he really just should have swung at it and got rid of it. But probably overplaying in the wrong areas. Good finish from Riordan. As I say, got the break, but probably deserved to get the break. But it's a sign of Hearts trying to play from the back, but probably overplaying there in the wrong areas. Hartley losing possession. Next thing you know, it's in the back of the net, 1-0 down. They haven't done much attacking at all, Hearts. And Phil Stamp, I guess, has been one of their better players in the first half with these driving runs from midfield. And he's not been frightened of having a crack at goal either. Yeah, I think this is the second one. He shots straight at the keeper. And there's a bit of movement in there and he drops it. But he cuts inside. A little bit of tenacity there for Stamp, and he's let it go. He's not scared of a shot, as we all know. This was a penalty claim for Derek Riordan. I'm not sure how convinced he was about it because he didn't exactly howl with protest as he got back up to his feet. I just wonder if he tried to make too much of this. I don't think it's a penalty anyway, but I think when the ball comes in, he kind of stops it. It's not as if he's going to meet the flight of the ball. He plants his 2 feet, and I think he's actually waiting in the push. I think that's it. He's just waiting on it there. Don't think there's too much. There's a little nudge, there's no doubt about that, but I think if he's just planted his 2 feet and instead of going maybe attacking the ball, I think he might have got the penalty. Yeah, it's a wee bit lucky there, McFarlane, to be fair, but I think it went down too easy and the referee called it right.
So halfway through, Hibs have that 1-goal advantage in the new year Edinburgh derby. Will Hearts hit back in the second half? We're about to find out.
Celtic TV, home of the champions. For only £3 or €5 a month, you can upgrade your Setanta Sports subscription on Sky to include your club's TV channel. See the future. Know your history. Be at the heart. The legends. The glory. For an extra £3 or €5 a month, join the club.
With 8 pages every Saturday and a massive 24 pages every Monday, Super Goals, covering every match played in Scotland. Written by Scotland's award-winning writer and leading columnists, giving you great football analysis and commentary, because we're big in Scottish football. The Scottish Sun, we love it.
Oh shit, oh shit.
Colt, the new small car from Mitsubishi, from just £7,999 on the road.
Kick-off at Celtic Park coming up shortly. It's Celtic against Livingston, and these are the teams. Not surprisingly, Martin O'Neill goes with the team which beat Hearts so convincingly 2-0 on Boxing Day. So that means Rob Douglas will play in goal again despite a return to health of Magnus Hedman. Henri Camara suspended, but that doesn't really make too much difference to the team selection these days for Celtic. This is Livingston. 3 changes made by Richard Gough. Out Dare, Adam and McPake. In come young Robert Snodgrass. Goran Stanic is in, and Richard Britton plays from the start as well. Livingston fighting to get away from the bottom of the table. Celtic looking to get back to the top. At Easter Road, there's been a half-time change. Alan Owerman is off, and he'll be replaced by Sam Morrow. Hibs are 1-0 up, and that sounds, Craig, like an attacking switch to me. Morrow's a striker. Owerman's been playing midfield.
Yeah, I thought Owerman was pretty quiet in the first half on that right-hand side, so they could change it slightly with Morrow coming on. He was more of an attacking player, so but that's indicative of the way Tony's picked his teams this season. He likes to go for it, so he's obviously not going to try and sit in his lead. He knows his team can play better, although they've been the better of the two sides, but he knows there's more to come from them. So he's looking to get the second goal to kill the game off.
Sounds to me, Billy, as if Derek Riordan might be pulled back out of the main strike force, and it's Morrow and Gary O'Connor up front.
Yeah, Morrow and O'Connor, he did well when he came on last week, got his goal, and he looked sharp as well, although we lost our shape a little bit by then. But obviously it looks as if he's going to pull Riordan back, but it's a bold move from him, we'll say that. They're 1-0 up. I'd be tending to leave it for maybe 15-20 minutes, but obviously he knows better than me, Tony Mowbray, in the way his team's playing. He wants to go on and try and kill this game off.
And there's no great point, Craig, in analysing the quality of the play or the flow of play, because nobody at that game is really bothered.
No, they're just, I mean, Hibs wanting to get a victory. They are in third place. They want to push on for there. Hearts need to get some more. They need to get a run of results going. I think from Hearts' point of view, it's a similar scenario to last week. They really need to squeeze up the pitch another 10-15 yards and squeeze the game. Two midfielders are dropping too deep again onto the centre halves. The centre halves are too deep as well. The back four, you know, and allowing Hibs too much time in the ball. If they can squeeze the game up and get closer to De Vries, I think that'll help. And but they certainly have to improve their performance in the second half.
At Celtic Park, a minute's silence pre-match, as there was, of course, at Easter Road as well, in recognition of those horrific happenings around the Indian Ocean. Meanwhile, back at Easter Road, we're ready for the second half. It's Hibs 1, Hearts 0. Mark De Vries hasn't had an inspiring first half, that's for sure. Certainly involved with the referee, but not too involved with the game. Hibs have made that change. Morrow for Orman, as we join Jock and Mark for the second half.
Thanks, Rob. Yes, a huge reception there for the Hibs players when they reappeared for the second half with Sam Morrow's blonde paint there to make an obvious man up front beside Gary O'Connor. And it looks as though Dean Shields might just move to the right-hand side, I don't know. Although the way the teams are lining up at the beginning, it isn't obvious, because Gary O'Connor started off wide on the right-hand side. We'll see very shortly how they have to go with the business. Hearts get it on the way. They have a lot to do in the second half. They weren't impressive enough in too many areas, and part of a very short spell at the end of which Hibs took the lead. They really were playing second fiddle. Struck the hand at Presley, but there was no offence there, surely worthy of a free kick. That's Nielsen playing it long. Well, it is indeed O'Connor and Morrow up front. Brown winning that from Graham Weir. Shields is going to the right-hand side, the space vacated by Orman. And Riordan staying on that left-hand side. So it really is a 4-4-2 to a 4-2-4.
Yeah, two pretty flexible players in Riordan and Shields. Bags of energy, can get up and get back, do defensive roles and do the attacking part of the game as well.
Nielsen to McFarlane. There's Murray. Morrow and a wrestling match with Presley, and the result is a free kick to Hibs.
Physical presence there with Morrow up front now with O'Connor. Another big boy using his frame.
19-year-old Sam Morrow from Northern Ireland, played for Ipswich Town. One game in the first team as substitute against Notts County in the League Cup. Played in well by Riordan. Headed away was by De Vries. Hamill goes down rapidly by Rocastle. Here's Stamp. Hartley wants it played through. It's a very good ball. That's a foul. That's a foul, surely. Well, there's no decision given by the referee. Hartley is incensed. He's racing back to the referee. Cannot believe that, but it seemed quite clear that David Murphy brought him down. And the referee, Hartley's lost the plot completely here.
I think he's got a case, Jock.
Blatant foul.
Great run through. Coming together of players. I think a little flick of the... don't know if it's intentional or not, but just a catch. Murphy, young Murphy, just catching Hartley just there on the right ankle. And that's a foul, intentional or not.
Well, a yellow card's been shown, I think, to Phil Stamp for his protests. John Robertson cannot believe that. Now, what a difference that could have made to the whole match. A key decision taken by referee Dougie McDonald, and I'm sure he got that wrong.
Yeah, when you look at it and think intentional or not intentional, but it is a foul. No, it is a foul. 2 minutes into the start, the second half, what a difference that makes to the game.
Stamps ball in, and Simon Brown playing the ball. One thing that occurred to me there about David Murphy, I wonder why it wasn't kept by Middlesbrough, and I now think we know the answer. Just a little lack of pace, and that was evident there. Presley there to Stamp. Here's McFarlane. Well, that could have one of two effects on Hearts. They may be stung by the injustice of it all to the point where they play very well. That was another opening for Hartley.
Yeah, it's a better position. Hartley's taken up now, more advanced. But a little shout there, unmarked. Great ball in from Maybury. Could have brought the ball down. Nobody within 10 yards of him in the box. Poor header.
He had lots of time. He really could have pulled that down. And the other option, of course, is Hearts get deflated by that, but this crowd won't let them. They're behind Simon Brown's goal, urging them on, and they certainly feel a sense of injustice. Here's Stamp. Now Hamill. Reprice eased away there by Murphy's challenge. Played in by Weir, a very good ball. It's Hartley! What a chance for Hearts!
Well, another great chance there for Hartley. A good spell of play from Hearts after the break. A super little ball in here. And Hartley again in that advanced position. Golden opportunity to get his side back into it there. 7 yards out, must hit the target.
Ron Robertson can't believe it. A wonderful opportunity. And he just hasn't been picked up at all with these runs forward, and that's a question mark about Craig Rocastle's concentration.
Well, that's the difference in the first half and the start of this second. You know, Hartley didn't get himself in advanced positions at all. Too busy trying to get himself on the ball in the deeper areas. And now the difference is he's getting in there now.
There's Graham Weir. Now Stamp. Well, that's a very hopeful one as he goes down under the challenge from Murphy. Whittaker. Tangling legs there. Behind for the corner kick. It's a very, very impressive start by Hearts this second half.
A nervy start by Hibs. Trying to keep the discipline. Hearts full steam ahead at the moment.
Again, flashing across the 6-yard box with no Hearts player taking advantage. It's Riordan. A bit of turn by Nielsen. Pumped away by Murray. Here's Stephen Presley. Another thing I wonder about that incident when Hartley went down. It wasn't a penalty, of course, it was outside the box, but it would have had to be a red card, surely. And I don't think referees like that.
Well, you're probably right there, Jock. It would have been last defender. But it's definitely ignited the Hearts touch paper. Since that decision, it's all been Hearts.
There's David Murphy, who was involved in that key incident. But he can't believe his luck. That's O'Connor. Come across to the right. Moving forward for Morrow. Held up well by Maybrick and Webster. Combination worked out well for Hearts. Farland playing it on. This is Rocastle back to Caldwell. Well, Hibs defences look less secure in the opening few minutes of the second half. They did right on the first. Down goes Weir, tackled by Glass. Weir's reaction doesn't do credit. The referee had that under control. He's going to book Glass anyway.
Yeah, just a late challenge there from Stephen Glass diving in. Not that sort of player though. The way of reacting. Stephen Glass was picking up a yellow card.
Cards have started. There's Webster. The interception's a good one by Whittaker. This is Morrow. Muscled out of that by Maybury. Strong play by Rocastle. Goal kick's given.
Very good covering play from Rocastle there. That's what McFarlane does for Hibs. Sorry, for Hearts. Gets all over the ground, covers every blade of grass. Invaluable.
Probably about O'Connor. O'Connor eased Maybury off the ball and out of reach. I'm really pedantic about it. That's a great pass by Morrow to O'Connor. Good delivery required here. Well, he had options inside O'Connor, but he had thoughts only about a strike on goal.
Shields furious in the middle there for him. Yeah, just wanted the ball sideways across the park, but O'Connor, one thing on his mind, as soon as he picked that ball up, drive forward into the space and get his shot off.
Well, you can't grudge a self-respecting striker that attempt on goal.
Must hit the target though, then there's no comebacks from anybody.
Here's Weir. There's a chance this time, and Hartley's made it! The goal's been coming since the half-time interval, and Hartley at last has made it.
He's looked like the man that's going to get Hearts back into this. He's been the most influential in this second half. He's found himself 2 or 3 times in there, and a great little ball back from Weir, and a little stab into the near post. Goalkeeper no chance, game on.
And you'll see there that Craig Rocastle was 5 metres behind him when he got into the box like that. The last 5 goals were penalty kicks, but he's broken that run. And no one deserves a goal more than Hartley. The way the second half has gone.
You'll have to say that the Hearts have come out this second half out of that dressing room fired up. The decision against Hartley, it should have been a sending off, it should have been a free kick, has definitely inspired them. Shut the side up.
Problem there in that stand behind Simon Brown's goal. I want to talk clear what that's all about. So watched carefully by the stewards, police alike. The referee agreement all not being brought into things at the moment as Hibs come forward with Riordan. The tackle came from Presley. At the line it goes for Weir. Always brought down heavily by Murray.
Apology there from Murray. It won't save him from getting the yellow card. Good work there from Weir. Straightforward decision for the referee. I think as he won.
It did save him from the yellow card though, the apology I think, because he hasn't had one.
Unbelievable. Consistency is what we're talking about, Jock.
Well, a smoke bomb effect to that stand appears to be evaporating. Delighted Hearts supporters. Another chance there for Webster. It's off the post. Hibs have survived, but only just. And I wonder now if Tony Mowbray is questioning his tactical alteration. There's Stamp for the shot.
All this pressure. Tony Mowbray over there thinking. Great header that. Wrong side of the ball, but just getting enough on it. Brown, very fortunate.
Even the break off the post was unlucky for Hearts. It could have been straight to Hartley.
This period of play now. Pretty important one for Hibs. Hearts got the game by the scruff of the neck. Lots and lots of pressure. They converted one of the chances from this pressure.
Headed in by Nielsen. Here's O'Connor. Trying to place one, I think.
That pass. I think with the fresh in the memory the chance he had before where he blazed over the top, just trying to hit the target.
Well, you did hear a little bit of an element of surprise in Billy Dodds' voice at half-time when he said about the substitution. It was a strange one to make, perhaps at that time. I wonder if you agree with that, Mark. Was it a bit ambitious of Tony Mowbray?
Well, I think Tony Mowbray sees his side. He knows what his side's very, capable of doing.
De Vries with a knockdown. Murray's clearing header.
And that's what the manager gets paid to do. Take the chances, tactical changes.
Shields now in the Orman role. That's good play by Maybury. Strong challenge by Hartley. That's excellent play by Hartley. He really is fired up. The block was made by Whittaker, but since Hartley was incensed by that decision going against him, he really has taken wings.
It's inspired him, yeah. Has to be said. It's the Hartley show at the moment. All over the place, involved in everything.
Well, Hearts fans elated at the moment. There's Simon Brown making a good, comfortable catch. Just the kind of handling you want from a keeper when the pressure's on. That's Morrow. Food for thought for Tony Mowbray. He must be contemplating whether another change might be appropriate. There's Hartley again. Came off Murray. It's a corner kick to Hearts.
Hibs can't get out the room. Home third at the moment. Fall into that man Hartley again. Good closing down from Murray.
You really have to take your hat off to Hearts for the way in which they've come out in the second half. They've been so impressive.
A good rocket at half-time from John Robertson. Shaking this team into life.
Good header away by Caldwell, under pressure from De Vries. Another corner to Hearts. Well, two to the ball, only one Hibs player coming out. Dropped on there by Whittaker. Counter-attack could be led by O'Connor, but he's held up instantly. Stamp lofts it forward for Weir. Well, that's a blatant body check. The ball well out of playing distance. That's remarkable.
So I just can't understand that. You know, that it's not in possession of the ball. It's an obstruction, if anything. The referee, absolutely nothing.
So there's Nielsen chipping it forward rather than get a touch. Stamps return there to Nielsen, who's caught by Riordan, and Riordan's in trouble, I think, for that. Being called over to the referee. Well, let's have a look at that incident a moment ago. It shows a clear foul for me, this.
Yeah, we're getting onto there. And that is just obstruction. Stopping the play, getting to the ball. Murray's not in control of the ball.
Oh, it's
such a dark area.
You cannot believe that that wasn't given as, well, I don't know, indirect
as anything
kick or a penalty or whatever. So it's Weir and Murphy together. A bit of a wrestling match, but it's a goal kick. The Hibs. Well, there's been action at Celtic Park. Remember, Celtic trying to get back on top of the league, and they've got off to a very impressive start. A goal right at the beginning of the game. It's come from John Hartson. 1-0 it is to Celtic in Celtic Park. 1-1 in the Edinburgh Derby. And it's all going Hearts' way at the moment. The layoff there from De Vries this time. The free kick is given. Now, there was nothing different about the one that Murray had and Weir earlier.
It's a similar sort of thing, though, like, you know, shoulder to shoulder. Player goes down, but in a less important area of the pitch.
I thought Murray's was worse, actually, than that. Well, who would envy them? Their job. Now, Phil Stamp is the man with real power in the shooting position. Paul Hartley not happy with the wall being 10 yards back. Well, when is it ever? The deflection there. Simon Brown solves any problems there about whether it should be a corner or a goal kick. Doncaster playing it to Whittaker. Free kick given there. Bit of obstruction that time, and that looks awkward for Shields.
Just catching one on the ankle there. A late challenge. The referee right on top of it. That's what you get from Maybury. Fully committed.
Murray in a bit of trouble here. Stamp makes him pay, and out comes the challenge from Murray, which will get him into trouble. Yellow card for the Hibs captain.
Trying to do too much on the ball there. Murray. Simple decision for the referee.
Well, they call it a good foul, I think. He was badly exposed there.
So these periods of time where you want your experienced players, and you can't see too many of those in the Hibs side, in that midfield area to, reorganise. That man there, plenty of experience, but you can't get that onto the pitch. You need a player in there that can organise, regroup.
Presley playing it in, aiming for De Vries. Caldwell with a touch in the ball. Murray completes the clearance. Foul by Webster on O'Connor. Free kick to Hibs. Chance to get out.
Yeah, it's the first time that they've been able to get up the park. O'Connor just getting himself the right side of the defender. Webster giving the free kick. Little spell of relief for the Hibs defence.
Mark Venus and Tony Mowbray in earnest conversation over at the far side at the dugout, trying to decide what might be appropriate. Well, the debate's gone on, considering the options. The trouble with that job too, Mark, is, as you know, having done it, you don't have a lot of time to make a decision.
Oh, yeah, the half-time spell, you're sitting down there, you're chatting, you got your 15 minutes to go through things, and I think only time will tell if tomorrow's substitution will pay off. You could end up scoring the winning goal, and if that is the case, then it's a great tactical change, but at this particular moment, it's not working.
Handball by Rocastle. Oh, not given. That's a foul by Farner and Morrow. Well, the referee's got all the work to do here. The players not at all happy with some of these decisions, and that usually results in tempers rising. Riordan over the ball. Whipped in at pace. Very close indeed. It was touched, I think, by Presley behind. The corner.
Great delivery from Ryder. Super pace on the ball. Yeah, Stephen Presley just getting a touch on it. Craig Gordon happy to save it past the far post.
Yeah, it could so easily be an own goal in that position. Well, the Hibs have proved their resilience in the past. They've come back from difficult spells in games and played very well. Here's David Murphy. That's good. Stephen Glass on it. Let's go one or two spectacular left foot goals. Glass in the past.
You could see his eyes light up as that was coming out to him, into his favourite left foot. To 3 or 4 Hearts players there, quick to close him down.
Rather than over the set piece. 6-yard box is packed. Won by Presley again. Shields denied the chance to get the ball in quickly by McFarlane. It was good defending. Well, Shields again, and Murray couldn't control on the run. He was offside though, wouldn't have counted. The flag was up.
Great play from Shields. The wider areas of the park. 2 players on him. Very, very close up. They would look like Maybury was playing him onside right in front of the official.
Well, Hibs did need that riposte, really, if they're going to stem the flow. That's Murray's clearance. That was Presley brought down there by O'Connor. Chance again for Hearts to put pressure on, and quickly taking free kick is intercepted, well read by Riordan. Here's Rocastle. Lovely drag back there by Rocastle. Down goes Murphy. The referee brings out the yellow card again for Hartley. Well, Hartley could have been booked for his descent at the goal, or at the free kick incident.
They're just brushing Murphy there. So, referee deeming it was a yellow card offence. We've seen worse, second half especially, that have not seen the yellow card brought out for.
Yellow card now being used rather frequently. We've had 4 so far in the match. Well by O'Connor and Nielsen. So Craig Gordon will take this free kick. I'm not sure what Hearts wanted.
Yeah, infuriates managers and coaches that. Goalkeepers, it's big enough the pitch, can't keep it on.
Caldo plays it long. No one there for Hibs though. Well, I know that Alan Orman was perhaps having the best of games. They haven't quite in the same shape Hibs since then. And they've lost the Shields benefit through the attacking midfield, central midfield player.
Yeah, they've lost that fluidity that they had the first half. The flexibility as well, interchanging of the forwards.
Hartley will again, here's Stamp. That was intended for the crease. Stamp comes short. Makes a very good turn. That's very good play by Stamp. Now Hamill to attack Whittaker. Whittaker standing up pretty well. That's a good cross. There's a chance. It was a good chance for Robbie Nielsen. Well inside the box.
Yeah, got himself in a great position. Right in there on the far post. Super cross to the far post. Just coming over the top of De Vries. I think that might have just put him off. Just rolling down the shin.
Well, the game really has turned around remarkably, and it must be Hearts who are thinking about victory. Hibs who are very concerned about the way this game has just slipped away from them in the second half. I can't believe that Tony Mowbray might not do something very soon to try to change things around. Stamp again, more and more influential. Well taken by Brown. Hartley getting much more involved in an attacking sense. Broadcast in trouble, there's Weir. Maybury to Hamill. Good play again. This is Hartley setting up Stamp. Another good striking goal from Phil Stamp. He keeps the ball down remarkably well.
Good passage of play again there from Hearts. Hartley just moving it across to Stamp. Brown taking it to the second attempt.
6 shots at goal from Phil Stamp so far. It's not a bad return from a midfield player. Here's Riordan, who's got a quiet time in the second half. Good cross, and there's Morrow! What a chance for Hibs! Excellent goalkeeping by Gordon. And Sam Morrow can't believe that. You just don't get better chances in derby matches than that. Craig Gordon totally exposed, and how well he responded. May have to do it again. A bit of barging and bumping in there, O'Connor and Presley. No real complaint from O'Connor this time. That'll be a Hearts ball. Yes, it's given as such. Well, Craig Gordon, the hero of Hearts, no doubt about that.
Great ball into the box. Too much time. And Morrow, all he has to do is head it into the ground, and he scores. Perfect height for the goalkeeper. Golden opportunity.
Oh, he was so frustrated, the young man, the 19-year-old, when he saw that save. Well, the reminder of Hearts that Hibs are still in the game.
You often find that with younger players, though. No, plenty of time. It comes instinctive. Probably ends up scoring in less time.
Well, the instructions coming from Tony Mowbray. Stamp's in trouble for Hearts, limping heavily as Rocastle comes striding forward, sets up Morrow. Ball in, swept away there by Webster, only as far as Shields. That's for Riordan. Awkward there for Maybury, spinning ball.
Riordan going for the spectacular. We've seen him score plenty of them this season.
Now Whittaker. And it's kept in by Riordan. The chance this time surely for Shields. Still in one go. And then it's Whittaker. Hearts complaining about an offside decision they didn't get.
Yeah. Great deflection there from Nielsen. And the ball standing up over the top of the bar, but a couple of chances there.
Well, it's really incredible the way this game has twisted and turned. Now it's Hibs back in the ascendancy. There's going to be a change made by Hearts directly. I think Phil Stamp's the player who looks to be in trouble. Murphy's header. Up goes Nielsen. Strong challenge by Caldwell. That's Shields. Good play. Morrow now, favouring the right-hand side. Into space it goes for Shields. Hartley back doing a good tracking job. Jamie McAllister, I think, is going to come on for Phil Stamp. That'll mean a bit of tinkering, I think, with perhaps Joe Hamill stepping inside in a more central role. A long time in the air. Always a keeper's ball. Here's Whittaker. Hibs have forced themselves back into the game. Now Morrow. That's for O'Connor, he's onside. Chance for Hibs. Deflection off Webster, means a corner kick to Hibs.
There was a great run from O'Connor there. There was not a lot on for him. There must be set in the middle of the park. He was looking for somebody there to be making the break. 3 or 4 Hearts defenders showing good cover.
Ireland's delivery again, this time from the right. Other away was by Webster. Broke off Morrow for the goal kick. So, change will be made by Hearts. Here's Jamie McAllister. And it's Bill Stamp who stopped there, limping heavily with an injury. He doesn't want to go off, mind you, Stamp. I think he feels he's still able to continue. Looking at the bench, he's not happy. He certainly appeared to be seriously inconvenienced by that injury.
Yeah, I think they're disappointed, and I think the decision to bring him off may have been a little bit too early, Joe. He seems to have run the injury off.
So McAllister comes to give the instructions, and it looks as though it's McAllister who'll stay in the central role in midfield. Ian Murray's header. That's Murphy. Tidy piece of play again by the fullback. Running into Hartley though. Rocastle forward. That was Shields. Now O'Connor. Brilliant pass. Now Riordan on the run. What a disappointing ball for such an accomplished player. This is Rocastle. Keeping the pressure on him. Hearts. In from Shields to Whittaker. Glass in good position. Difficult ball, but Whittaker to take that on the run. Here's Dean Shields. Down goes De Vries to the amusement of the Hibs fans. Now Murray looks ahead. The chance to come striding forward. Likes to do this. Does it very well normally. Excellent play by Murray. Superb play. Riordan. That's Morrow this time.
What a chance. Super play from Ian Murray, the captain, driving forward into the space. Offside probably, but what a chance that is to take his side into the lead. Did he take his eye off the ball? Did he look at a goalkeeper? Only he can tell us.
Well, the substitute, 2 great chances. Ian Murray was the inspiration there with some terrific plays in the back. Well, the Hibs supporters perhaps trying to persuade Ian Murray to stay here. Murphy's pass, the layoff from O'Connor was a very good one. That's Morrow setting off, but matched all the way by Andy Webster. The positioning was excellent. Really well, so too did Murphy. Well, Sam Morrow with his sub. He's had 2 chances, golden chances to win the match.
2 match-winning chances, Jock, must be said. Glorious efforts. 6-yard box.
Kevin McKenna coming on for Mark de Vries.
Off the pace, De Vries. I think that's a good decision.
Hibs will make a change too, I think. Tony Mowbray wants to draw the attention of the referee. A discussion going on now. Maybe also talking to the referee, Dougie McDonald. Is there to be a further change? No, not. It would appear from Hibs. That's McKenna. Hearts to replace Andy Webster. This is Weir, back to McFarlane. Good running by Nielsen. Murray goes across to meet him. Well, it's still fiercely competitive, both sides thinking about victory, no doubt about that. And neither will be happy with the draw. Andy Webster does appear to be a little bit inconvenienced. He's been over to the touchline to get some assistance from the medical staff. Pumped away by Shields. That's O'Connor against Maybury. No one supporting him there. He's on his own, O'Connor. McAllister held up by Whittaker. Foul's given against McAllister, whose show of dissent is liable to result in a bit of trouble from the referee.
Yeah, just arms all over the defender there. Saving Whittaker.
This is Presley. Turning into trouble, there's no offence there. This is Shields. That's O'Connor through the centre. Is he held up? Well, that was Gordon who got to the ball and held it up enough to enable Webster to clear.
Stephen Presley, big mistake there. Trying to dribble out, never a free kick. Slide rule ball through there, Craig Gordon. Just doing enough there with the help of his defenders.
Very sharp, incisive attack that from Hibs. Away by McAllister. This is Whittaker. Good play. Shields lofting it in with an offside flag up. I think a couple of players over there. Bryant an offside. Shields perhaps also.
Good work from the Hearts defence there. All coming up to the man. Right to the edge of the box and leaving Hibs players sleeping in the box.
Number of offsides. Hibs 4 times caught. Tony Mowbray still looks philosophical and relaxed. Less so perhaps Mark Venus. Here's Rocastle now breaking from midfield. Away from McAllister. That's a second attempt to bring him down by McAllister. He'll be in trouble, I'm sure, when the game stops. Rocastle again. Given away there, Maybury collects. Hartley holds it up for Nielsen. Ryan plays it off Nielsen. Now will the referee take action against McAllister? No, he's not going to do that. And if it was good refereeing, he would do.
It's too consistent, right?
Well, Across it comes to Caldwell. Here's Sam Morrow with Nielsen. It comes back here to Shields. Shields plays it in. There's O'Connor this time. And still it will not go for Hibs in front of goal.
Well, Hibs, in this period, the last 10-15 minutes, standing in an offside position, must be said. Don't think the flag went up. But enough chances to win 2 games. 3 golden opportunities to take the lead. Tony Mowbray there, sit with his hands on his head, thinking, what does he have to do to score?
Headed away there by Murphy. Right, it goes to throw to Hearts. Nielsen's in a hurry, but there's action at Celtic Park. And a big surprise there because it's Livingston who've hit back against Celtic. An equaliser has come from Jim Hamilton. For Livingston, what a shocker that is for Celtic. There was the chance, turned in by Hamilton. And it's 1 apiece at Celtic Park. And 1 apiece here too at Easter Road. Time running out. On both sides to snatch a winner. John Robertson reflecting in that 15-minute burst at the start of the second half when his side simply took over. But since that time, it's been Hibs who've been more likely. And the chances, the good chances, have gone to Tony Mowbray's team. Change of mind about the substitution of Webster, by the way. Just thought Berra was ready to come on. And the flag is up, but offside this time.
Good play again there from Hearts. All stepping up at the same time. Pensive John Robertson.
Well, partly on the left was a coach here at Hibs under both Alec Miller and Alec McLeish. A very highly respected Hearts player in his day as a winger. Throw taken by Robbie Nielsen for Hearts. McKenna the obvious target. And a foul by McKenna. Well, the Canadian international makes his disagreement apparent to the referee. So, a big finish required for both sides as far as the managers are concerned. Around by Nielsen. Here's O'Connor. And that's a very clear foul also by Nielsen on O'Connor.
There's the big guns coming up now for Hibs. O'Connor just knocking the ball past him. Nielsen. Arm and left leg across him. Simple decision for the referee.
Good play that by O'Connor. Lively play. Ireland's delivery. So important here. It's a very good ball in, and it was a great chance again for Shields.
Incredible, incredible. Great delivery in. Shields, 6 yards out, right in the middle of the goal.
Must too much on it, didn't he?
Must do better.
Too much on it.
Just must do better. Yeah, must be scoring. That's 4 or 5 shots or efforts in the second half to win the game.
Another foul by Kevin McKenna. He's going to be in trouble this time with the referee. He was centre-back last week against Celtic. Now playing striker for Mark de Vries. So that's his usefulness to Hibs. So free kick to Hibs. Headed away by Presley. Reaches Riordan. Here's Morrow trying to turn away from Presley. Murphy piling in there with a challenge. Breaks for Nielsen. Back it goes now to Gary Caldwell. Take this throw. Ian Murray He's done so much to try and turn the game Hibs' way. The captain, and Simon Brown. O'Connor did well. So did Morrow. He was fouled surely by Presley, no? The referee thinks not. Well, Glass certainly committed that infringement, I think, because it wasn't given the first time, the foul on Morrow. Hearts haven't had too many chances recently to test this Hibs defence. All the good chances at the other end, but how often are those Edinburgh derbies snatched at the death? Frequently by a team who seems to be struggling, but that's a wasted effort. Turned away by Nielsen for the goal kick. Tony Mowbray, Mark Venus looking on. There are 2 additional minutes to be added at the end of the game. We need a man of the match from you, Mark.
Yeah, I think it's been a game of 2 halves, really. I think Hearts very slow out the blocks first half, Hibs. And then Hearts the second half started the better, although I think that Hibs have had the better chances. I think Hartley's second half has been inspirational, but I think with more influence over his side has been Ian Murray, the captain of Hibs. I think he's been absolutely outstanding. He's stemmed the main force in Mark de Vries and him and Caldwell. I think Milbanco Scotland man of the match, Ian Murray.
Well, here he goes again, and he's been held up. The advantage might have been applied. Now, Jamie McAllister ought to have been booked earlier for a bad foul on Craig Rocastle. Wasn't. Now he gets a yellow card. Very lucky man.
Super play again there from Murray. We're seeing him. It's a dangerous one. It's over the top of the ball. It's fortunate he's got his foot off the ground as well.
Problem 2 on the edge of the box. Stephen Presley's going down. Well, something's happened off the ball to upset the Hearts captain. Dougie McDonald, the referee, waving on some attention to Presley. Well, it's not at all a part of what happened to him, but Christophe Berra will come on this time.
Must be a kick or something like that.
Well, has something happened off the ball? Did he stumble of his own accord? What can we see from this? There he is.
It's like a reaction to a knock he's had earlier.
Yeah, nothing happened. Nothing untoward happened anyway, that's for sure. But he does appear to be in some distress. He's not likely to go down like that unless it's a serious matter. Looks like a big lump on his shin there. John Robertson looks on as the fourth official, Charlie Richmond, waits to hold up that board indicating that Presley may come off. And Christophe Berra will come on. The noise coming from Hibs supporters. They're disappointed, I think, they're not in front at this stage. They certainly have had the chances to win the game, no doubt about that.
Oh, they've had 4 incredible chances, second half. Cole falling to the substitute, Morrow. Shields having one. Great opportunities, 6 yards in front of the goal.
Well, that doesn't look good for Presley.
Heavy bandage going on that, so not a good start to the year for Stephen Presley.
Well, very much a leader and a key man in the Hearts side. Christophe Berra, very promising young central defender, comes on. Barely time to work up a sweat. There were to be 2 additional minutes. Clearly there have been another 2 at least. Could there be a dramatic finish here? Could there be a change? Well, Paul Hartley telling the referee the ball had been moved by Riordan. Will Riordan attempt one from here? I wonder. It's a very good effort indeed. I don't think it was going in, but Gordon took no chances, turning it over to the corner.
Good football, good effort, plenty of power on it. Took one over the top. Craig Gordon just being secure and getting the hand to it.
This could be the last chance for either side to win it. Oh, another good chance. Plumb in front of goal for Gary O'Connor.
Guilty again. It's a good opportunity. O'Connor's up there. It's a free header. And just completely misheaded. Must be hitting the target. Must be making the goalkeeper work. It's 5 efforts now. The goalkeeper's not had to lay a glove on anything.
Tony Mowbray, I'm sure, can scarcely believe this. Seconds remaining. Here's Hamill for Hearts. Is there to be a dramatic finish to the game? Here comes Whittaker. Could be the last surge from Hibs. And it comes to Shields. Breaks out wide for Riordan. What can he do from here? Trying a chip shot there towards the far post. Hearts get the ball away with McFarlane. Looks very tired indeed, no wonder. He's put in a major shift for Hearts. Here's Money. Back here to Caldwell. It has to go long, I think, if they're going to have any chance at all of doing anything. There it goes. Pumped out the far side very accurately to Riordan, who's tackled strongly by Nielsen. We're into the 5th minute of time added on. This is Morrow. Hearts of the throw. Well, it looks as though the Edinburgh derby is going to finish all even. Is that fair, you think, overall, Mark?
I think Hearts made a fist of it. Second half, no. I don't think they made too much of it in the first half, but you would have to say, on chances that have come and gone, you must put Hibs down as coming out on top in that department.
That's been tough for Hearts, because if they don't win this, and they don't look likely to now, there'll be 1 win in the last 7 league games, including this one. Ball's played long into the Hibs half, and the final whistle goes. It ends all even. Hearts made a major contribution, especially at the start of the second half, when Paul Hartley got that equalising goal after Derek Riordan gave Hibs the lead. In the 24th minute, with a very good opportunist finish, Hartley was inspired for about 20 minutes, and in that period missed a couple of chances, and also was involved at the start when he gave that one away as O'Connor's shot was dropped for Riordan. That was the opening 24 minutes. And then it was a Hartley show at the start of the second half, and when Graham Weir played that across, Hartley was there with the close-range finish. A goal which was richly deserved at that point. On that point on, though, it was Hibs with all the clear-cut chances. They couldn't convert any of them, and the result in the end is that honours are even. So a really tough, competitive Edinburgh derby, enjoyed, I think, by everyone here. The final score at Easter Road, Hibernian 1, Hearts 1.
Rangers TV. Watch this season's events unfold from the very heart of Ibrox. Add Rangers TV to your Setanta Sports subscription on Sky for £3 or €5 a month. See the legends. Relive the glorious past. Spot the stars of tomorrow. Meet the men who really matter. Wallow in nostalgia. Enjoy the big interviews. For an extra £3 or €5 a month, bring Rangers home today. is.
The new Mitsubishi Grandis. You won't want to drive anything else.
With 8 pages every Saturday and a massive 24 pages every Monday, Super Goals, covering every match played in Scotland. Written by Scotland's award-winning writer and leading columnists, giving you great football analysis and commentary, because we're big in Scottish football. The Scottish Sun, we love it.
It's half-time at Celtic Park. Celtic looking to retake top spot in the SPL. It's 1-1 though, which is a surprise scoreline after 45 minutes. Celtic got off to the start they expected when John Hartson scored his 18th goal of the season to give them the lead. That was on 15 minutes. But, well, if you've been watching our coverage, you'll have seen the goals. Jim Hamilton equalised for Livingston with 6 minutes left of the first half. And Richard Gough, who's enjoyed some happy times as the Rangers captain at Celtic Park, has a 1-1 draw at the moment with Celtic. It's half-time at Celtic Park. Full-time at Easter Road, and the story in starts doesn't begin to explain what happened at Easter Road. A fairly dull first half was followed by one of the most explosive second halves I've seen in terms of chances created. 51-49 in terms of possession, but look at those shots. 21 for Hibs, 15 for Hearts, and the big surprise is that it finished 1-1 at Easter Road. Man of the match was Ian Murray, the Hibs captain. He's with Scott Booth, as is the Hearts goal scorer, Paul Hartley.
Ian, a frantic game today. Do you think that you deserved the 3 points?
It was a close game, but I think overall we're a bit disappointed not to come away. Especially being at home and going to go ahead. With the chances we had second half, I mean, Hearts had a wee spell, 20 minutes, got their goal, and after that I thought we controlled the game again.
Did you feel like in the first half you did control the game?
Yeah, I thought for a large part of the game anyway. Obviously Hearts had a couple of half chances, nothing to bother the goalie. The second half they came out fighting, got their goal, and then I thought after that again we controlled it.
What happened in the second half? 'Cause you seemed to lose the run of play for about 20 minutes or so.
We did. I think that's got to be expected. You can't dominate a game for 90 minutes, and maybe their midfield ran over the top of us a little bit. We're punished for it, but I thought we came back strong at the end and perhaps unlucky not to nick it.
Did have a lot of chances in the second half, a lot of head chances as well. Did you feel at one point that you were going to get that second goal?
Well, you always hope it's going to come. Chances we missed and you think it's not going to be your day. But the main thing is we didn't get beat today and we've kept our run going and keep ourselves in front.
Paul, did you think it was a fair result at the end of the day?
Yeah, I think Hibs started the better team in the first half and got their goal. But we had a wee spell in the second half for about 20 minutes where we created numerous chances. But I think we were probably happy with a draw in the end.
Well, I can see your goal now, Paul, and it came at a point where it was the Hartley show.
Yeah, I think Graham Muir just played a ball in and we just gambled on it and got a touch, but I'd missed a couple before that. Probably gave Hibs their first goal without a slack pass, but it was nice to get back in the game and but the last 15-20 minutes Hibs had numerous chances when their goalkeeper made some great saves.
Must be nice to get your 11th goal of the season.
Yeah, it was pleasing, especially a derby game against your former club. But we're still in there. I think we could have, if we could get a win today, we're back in it. But we've got a lot of games to play.
Well, Ian today was the man of the match, the Bank of Scotland man of the match. Could you possibly give it to him and say thanks very much for the tough game?
Well done. All the best. Good luck. Well done. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, lads. Thank you.
Well, the last New Year Edinburgh derby was exactly 2 years ago to the day. That one finished 4-4 at Tynecastle. This one might have finished 4-4 as well, Craig.
I mean, the first half wasn't great, but the second half was terrific for action. We could have seen a lot of goals in the second half. I think in terms of chances created, Hibs probably deserved to win, but the way Hearts came out in the second half, especially Paul Hartley, we spoke